Department of Science and Technology, Philippine Center for Print Excellence Foundation, CamSur Business Expo, the everyone. Diyos maray na hapon, Pilipinas. I am Cristel A. Sales and I am your host for this afternoon's virtual Pack Pinas, packaging solutions to kickstart your business. To formally start this webinar, let us begin with the Doxology and the singing of the Philippine National Anthem.
Lead me, Lord, lead me by the hand and make me face the rising sun. Comfort me through all the pain that life may bring. There's no other hope that I can lean upon. Lead me, Lord, lead me all my life. Walk by me across the lonely road of every day. Take my arms and let your hand show me the way. Show the way to live inside your lead me, Lord, lead me all my life. You are my light. You're the lamp upon my feet. All the time, my Lord, I need you there. You are my light. I cannot live alone. Let me stay by your guiding light all through my life. Lead me, lead me, Lord, even though at times I'd rather go along my way. Help me take the right direction, take your road. Lead me, Lord, and never leave my side. All my days, all my life. You are my light. You're the lamp upon my feet. All the time, my Lord, I
pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang mag-ibig, elas ng sinakanan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyag ka ng mag-ibig, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisigil, sa nagagang tutok sa simoy at sa langit mong pagaw, ay ginagang tula at awit sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na nag-iindig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may magdidinig. Lumalang araw ng walhaging pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang hinigaya ng pagkay mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
For our welcome remarks, we are pleased to have our dedicated president of the CamSur Chamber of Commerce and Industry Incorporated, President Engineer Alexander B. Gaite.
It is my privilege and pleasure to welcome you all today to the virtual Pack Pinas, packaging solutions to kickstart your business. I would like to thank everyone who contributed their time and effort to make this webinar a success. To our Pack Pinas Chairman, Past President Raymond Concepcion, DTI Partners Regional Director Rodrigo Aguilar, Provincial Director Edna Tejada, and Mr. J. Ablan, DOST Provincial Director Pat Calesminio, PCPEF Executive Director Mr. Roland Rocha, and Governor Mix Villaferte, my sincere appreciation to all of you. Today, I feel very proud that despite the pandemic that we are experiencing, the Camarines Sur Chamber of Commerce and Industry Incorporated is truly committing to its purpose to become the voice of business in the province of Camarines Sur. The CSCCI will constantly be dedicated in imparting programs that will foster our MSMEs to develop and succeed. Our webinar today, the Virtual Pack Pinas, is a great contribution to our MSMEs. It will help them in enhancing their product viability and competitiveness, as it aims to give ideas on the proper packaging, branding, and labeling of products. Thank you to all our participants, and once again, welcome to the Virtual Pack Pinas.
Thank you very much, President Alex, and congratulations on your leadership. To give us a short message, we are pleased to have our TTI Region 5 Regional Director, Rodrigo Aguilar.
Mr. Raymond L. Concepcion, Chairman, Pack Pinas Project. Engineer Alexander B. Gaite, President, CamSur Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Representatives from project partners, the Provincial Government of Camarines Sur, the Department of Science and Technology, and the Philippine Center for Print Excellence Foundation. PD Edna Tejada of DTI Camarines Sur, other provincial directors of DTI from Bicol, the MSME participants, to everyone present online, a pleasant day to everyone. In most instances, our attention is caught or we get attracted to the appearance of a person. The way that person dresses, the way he or she acts, and the manner he or she carries himself or herself. Kumbaga, may dating, a total package. The same thing applies with products we see in the market, in the department stores, groceries, and any other market outlets. We immediately notice a product if we get attracted to its package and label. We become curious, and to satisfy our curiosity, we get hold of the product, scrutinize it, look at the brand, manufacturer, and all other details written on the package. Ultimately, the buyers decide. Let's admit it, the final decision to buy the product is influenced to a great extent by the buyer's first impression of the product, and this is the function of packaging and labeling. Everyone is fully aware of the importance of packaging and labeling to the salability of the products. However, not everyone has access to information or business development service providers that can help our MSMEs. Thus, we at DTI truly appreciate this initiative of the Camarines Sur Chamber of Commerce and Industry with the support of the stakeholders to bring PAC Pinas here in Bicol. I know this will be a big help to our MSMEs who dream to grow and become big in the future. Congratulations, and we hope for more productive collaboration.
Thank you very much, Director Rodrigo Aguilar. To give us an overview of the PAC Pinas, we are pleased to have our dynamic DTI Camarines Sur Provincial Director, Edna S. Tejada.
The Department of Trade and Industry Camarines Sur and the Camarines Sur Chamber of Commerce and Industry are pushing innovative packaging and branding to micro, small, and medium enterprise products as we stage today PAC Pinas, an MSME virtual packaging roadshow. And may I quote DTI Secretary Ramon Lopez, MSMEs rely heavily on packaging as a means and sometimes the only way to advertise their products. Innovative packaging can spell the difference between a product that sells and one that's left on the shelf. PAC Pinas is a free event where MSMEs can learn the latest market trends and emerging opportunities for packaging solutions. MSMEs can meet government agencies and companies that can assist in designing, branding, and marketing of their products. The roadshow aims to reach MSMEs in Camarines Sur and in the Bicol region, geared towards improving the packaging of their products to be more competitive in the global market.
Thank you very much, Provincial Director Edna Tejada. At this juncture, let us watch the infomercial entry of DTI Camarines Sur in celebration of Consumer Welfare Month this October. Let us show our support by clicking the like button on the entry posted in DTI Region 5 Bicol FB page. Moving forward, to give us an overview of our webinar, we are pleased to have our hardworking project chairman and one of the key contributors of the virtual PAC Pinas. Ladies and gentlemen, Past President Raymond Concepcion.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I will discuss to all of you our webinar overview. Originally, PAC Pinas was intended as a two-day event and was planned last 2018. PAC Pinas aims to improve the packaging of the products of micro, small, and medium enterprises in Bicol to be more competitive in the market. The virtual PAC Pinas is one of the major partnership projects of the Camarines Sur Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the Department of Trade and Industry, realized today through the help of Regional Director Rodrigo Aguilar, Provincial Director Edna Tejada, and Mr. J. Ablan. Thank you very much to all of you. I would also like to extend my sincere appreciation to the Department of Science and Technology, PDPAT Felismenio, PCPEF Executive Director Rolly Rocha, and Provincial Government of Camarines Sur through Governor Migs Villafuerte for making this webinar a success. To our CSCCI members, headed by our President, President Alex Gaite, thank you very much for your support. The virtual PAC Pinas, packaging solutions to kickstart your business, will bring access to our MSMEs in the latest trends and opportunities in product enhancement and packaging solutions. Our topics are overview of the packaging industry in the Philippines, design and branding for labels and packaging, mandatory labeling requirements and services for packaging technology division of the DOST, right packaging for the right product, innovations in packaging, and success story of a successful adopter in packaging. Aside from our relevant topics in packaging, there will be a raffle draw to which lucky participants will win raffle prizes and will have a chance to have a one-on-one session with our resource speakers. We also have a virtual showroom found in the Camarines Sur Business Expo website, where you will have an interactive experience with the latest packaging equipment and products available in the market today. So now, let us all begin our virtual PAC Pinas.
Thank you very much, Project Chairman Raymond Concepcion. Before we proceed to our next segment, we would like to invite all our participants to visit camsurchamber.com and access our virtual showroom promoting homegrown Bicolano brands. Our first speaker is an experienced creative director with a demonstrated history of working in the design industry. He is skilled in graphic arts, integrated marketing, advertising, strategic planning, and digital marketing. He graduated from University of the Philippines with further studies in the Academy of Art University in San Francisco, California, USA. Friends, let us all listen to Mr. Stefano Paulo Bunag to discuss overview of the packaging industry in the Philippines.
Good afternoon. First off, I would like to thank the CamSur Chamber and the DTI for continuing with the PAC Pinas roadshows and for inviting the PAP to share our experiences and learnings with our MSMEs. It is difficult to give an overview of the packaging industry without really discussing packaging itself. Let us start with a clip from the movie Love Actually.
Looking for anything in particular, sir?
Yes, that necklace there, how much is it?
It's £270.
All right, I'll have it.
Lovely. Would you like it gift wrapped?
Yes, all right.
Lovely. Let me just pop it in the box. There.
Look, could we be quite quick?
Certainly, sir. Ready in the flashiest of flashes. There.
It's great.
Not quite finished.
Look, actually, I don't need a bag. I'll just put it in my pocket.
No, this isn't a bag, sir.
Really?
This is so much more than a bag.
Could we be quite quick, please?
Prontissimo.
What's that?
It's a cinnamon stick, sir.
Actually, I really can't wait.
Oh, you won't regret it, sir.
Want to bet?
It is but the work of a moment. There we go. Almost finished.
Almost finished. What else can there be? You're going to dip it in yogurt? Cover it with chocolate buttons?
Oh, no, sir. We're going to pop it in the Christmas box.
But I don't want a Christmas box.
But you said you wanted it gift wrapped.
I did, but...
This is the final flourish.
Can I just pay?
All we need now
Oh, God.
is a sprig of holly.
No bloody holly.
But, sir,
Leave it, just leave it.
Oh, loitering around the jewellery section, I see.
No, I was just looking
Don't
around.
worry.
you know.
My expectations are not that high.
So for the main part of my talk, what now does the first part, from the user experience to the functions down to the delivery service, how does that affect the packaging industry? Or vice versa, how does the packaging industry affect or answer those needs? The packaging industry market value globally was estimated at $885.5 billion US dollars, and estimated again to grow up to $1 trillion US dollars by 2020. The packaging industry plays a role in all of the industries and manufacturing establishments around the world, either as suppliers or users. The packaging industry, the way we look at it, is divided into users, suppliers, and manufacturers. Under the users, we have the consumer packaging, which is basically your mass market or your end consumers. And these usually are in the food, beverages, pharmaceuticals, FMCGs, durables, sustainable packaging, toys, cosmetics, electronic devices, home appliances, etc. It's also divided into the industrial packaging, which is more of the bulk and wholesale food, machinery, chemicals, equipment, etc. And the institutional packaging, which are also basically non-food, food, military supplies, medical devices, and others. The difference between the industrial and institutional is very minimal, in the sense that institutional packaging is a more specific industry or service area. They are usually institutions that may or may not be seen, or packaging that may not be seen by the regular consumers. The industrial packaging maybe in terms of wholesale because of the hotels, also hospitals, but you have also the restaurants, you have the commissaries that are more of the industrial packaging users. For the suppliers and manufacturers, these are more or less divided into the manufacturers and the converters, which produce the raw materials and converts them into plastic containers, metal cans, glass and plastic bottles, flexibles, paper boxes, composites. Basically, they produce the packaging. And also are divided into the machines and the services sector that handles the development and testing, marketing, consumer testing, design, photography, legal and other special consultants, and others. And basically, they're the ones also that provide you with the machines in the process of your packaging, or process development or product development. So these are the fillers, the mixers, so the labelers, no? These are basically your the machines that you use for your product development and processes. So this is the packaging industry as a whole. You have the users on one side and the suppliers on the other, and their products and services in the center, which is basically to provide you with your packaging and delivering processes from start to end. So just a little bit about the Packaging Institute of the Philippines. It was founded by 31 charter members in 1967 and registered on March 20, 1975 with the SEC. Former President Marcos issued a presidential proclamation number 1343 declaring the period of November 2 to 8, 1975, and the first week of November of every year thereafter as Packaging Development Week under the auspices of the PIP and Design Center of the Philippines. The PIP is a national association set up to promote the recognition of packaging as a science and as a profession and to stimulate good packaging consciousness in the industry and among consumers. Basically, it's to promote, our mission is to promote the recognition of packaging as a science and as a profession, to undertake also the promotion of research and development of packaging and packaging design, to provide a vehicle for international exchange of experience and knowledge in packaging technology, to promote the pursuit of packaging technology by means of local and international training and education, also to render professional and consulting services to its members. We basically also work with the DTI, the Bureau of Product Standards, the Bureau of Investment, DNR, DOST, MMDA. Sorry, there's a double of MMDA. They're very important. The Congress and the Senate, the Academe, and other allied associations and industry. So these are other associations in the packaging industry. Basically, those are material specific. So we have to work with them in terms of the developments in the packaging industry. We work hand in hand with issues concerning packaging with these associations, together with the Senate, the Congress, and the Academe. So the current membership in the PIP consists of users, manufacturers, and suppliers of packaging materials and packaging services. The PIP is also a member of the World Packaging Organization and is also a founding member of the Asian Packaging Federation. So, in a nutshell, the industry is one of the growth sectors that needs to be pushed, improved on, and developed further. And it is important that the MSMEs also tap that market, tap the services of these institutions to improve the packaging that you use and to improve and further develop your products in terms of shelf life and marketing and the promotion of your product. So again, the industry is a friend to the MSMEs. We are definitely open to working with all of you in one way or another to further develop our products for local consumption and global consumption as well. So again, thank you for the opportunity to share with you our knowledge and experience, and enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stefano Paulo Bunag, for your discussion on how the packaging industry in the Philippines actually looks like. Our second speaker is a creative leader and entrepreneur based in Manila. Since the opening of his branding consultancy Serious Studio in 2012, he has worked with various clients, both in national and international scene. Some of his valued clients are Ayala, GCash, Bumble, Hope, and more. His experience spans in branding, design, and business development. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all listen to Mr. Lester Lim Cruz to talk about design and branding for labels and packaging.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today. I'm Lester Cruz. I'm one of the co-founders of Serious Studio, and we're a branding agency based in Manila. So I'm here today to talk about branding, design, and packaging. So I hope you learn a thing or two from me in this talk. So yeah, let's start.
Good design speaks for itself. Design and craftsmanship shape our lives for comfort, pleasure, and progress.
So just a backgrounder. Well, my background's in business and design. So I finished a degree on information design in Ateneo back in 2012. And more recently, I finished my master's degree in entrepreneurship at the Asian Institute of Management last 2019. So I mix design and business to create great results with our clients. Serious Studio is a branding agency. We've worked with clients locally and internationally to build brands new and old. Our philosophy is make sense and look good. It's simple, really. So the best brand experiences combine design and strategy. Just for context, here are photos of our team. So obviously, these weren't taken yesterday. In fact, the last time we were all together was last March, thinking it would just be a 2-week break from each other. So fast forward to today, it's actually October. And next thing you know, it's gonna be Christmas. And this is our lead ARF director. So as you can see, he's very meticulous. In the next photo, you will notice how much this quarantine has deprived him of exercise. Like all of us, really. Okay, so going back, here's a peek into our creative process. We build brands from end to end. From concept to launch, we help shape the identity and creative direction of the companies we work with. First impressions are really important, and your brand is your face in this game. Today's customers are more discerning than ever. So we choose brands now the way we choose our friends. And that's why your brand's face, your brand's personality need to be strong and well thought out. This way, you can stand out from all the noise. So we've worked with a wide range of clients, big corporations, SMEs, and even personalities. Some of these names might be familiar. You've probably seen our work without realizing it. So we like being the secret sauce to the companies we work with. This being a talk about packaging, I wanted to show some examples of our packaging work. We recently did the My Hair, My Say campaign for Dove with the goal of making women feel confident about their hair, no matter if it's curly, wavy, straight, and more. Our packaging for Dove was designed to speak to their audience and make them feel understood by the brand. Another project we did was to do the branding and packaging for Compadre. Filipinos drink a lot of beer. So when the market has been accustomed to a certain way of doing things, you'd want to wow them and show them how different your product is. Craft beer is complex, and we wanted to highlight the artisanal value of Compadre's beer with their packaging. We wanted the packaging to reflect the intricacy behind their product. Hence, every label was custom designed. Details on ingredients, flavor notes, and a compelling story are found on the very label to make the consumer feel and eventually taste the difference. So I wanted to talk about how packaging can improve your business through a simple concept that some of you may be familiar with: Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Maslow believes that there is a set of human requirements that are needed to complete their self-development. These 5 needs go from physiological needs, so basically survival needs, food, water, oxygen, you name it. The next step is safety. So safety goes into security, like a house or making sure you're not in a threatening environment. After that, humans proceed to need connections, friendships, intimacy, and the like. As it goes higher, you start to feel the need for accomplishment, prestige, and as you go to the topmost part, you would want to achieve your full potential as a human being. So at Serious Studio, we treat brands like human beings, thus making brands more authentic and connected to the people who experience it. Your product needs packaging, and that becomes the identity of your brand, especially in a marketplace setting. So we believe that brands have the same level of needs, and I'll expound this in the next few slides. So we start with survival. So if you wanted to sell rubbing alcohol, you would need a container, right? If you didn't, you need someone to bring a container for it. It's the main essential, the minimum viable thing. So more examples on this. So if you are selling beer, it wouldn't make sense to put it in a small cookie jar, right? I mean, you could do that if you wanted to make things hard for people, but that wouldn't necessarily help you sell your product, right? So that's the gist for physiological needs. It's a basic minimum requirement for you to be able to sell. The service level agreement that will allow you to create a deal. So on the next slide, after creating the minimum viable product for your brand, you're going to have to start considering the factors that will affect your product. Your product will travel from your farm, production facility, truck, supplier, your dealer, consolidator, down to your consumer. Like, it's a really long journey. So by addressing this level of need, your product is able to brave through all of those factors. So again, with the same example of beer, like if you've wondered why beer is amber, it's because amber blocks out UV rays that can degrade the quality of your beer. So just so you know, design isn't all graphics. It's really just one part of it. Design is about designing an experience for people, and people deserve nice things. If you wanted 6 beers to get to your friend without having a hard time carrying it all or even risk breaking it, a 6-pack beer holder gets the job done. It's a small thing to some, but you actually reduce the risk of breaking glass and wasting beer in the process. So that's one direct way packaging makes people happy. On an operations level, canning industries have that groove on top to make sure that you're able to stack them. Logistics departments are able to see which boxes are under or overloaded by having strict height measurements for canned goods. If it's above a determined height, there is something wrong. Just through packaging design and choosing measurements, financial and operational safeguards are created through packaging design. And that is such a small detail that impacts balance sheets, sales, logistics, and the like. Our business is about the most invisible details, but our business is also all about making that well felt with the ones we design it for. So the last example is food. So you want to make food isn't spoiled when it gets to a location or when it gets shipped outside your city. How do you make that happen? The best packaging suppliers will suggest the right methods for you, so it's best to have a good packaging supplier. Okay, so next part is love and belonging. So now you're done with building the basic needs of your product. You want to get to the market. Sounds great. I mean, love and belonging sounds cheesy, but it's the good kind of cheese. You really need to build a sense of connection to make sure that customers not only buy your products, you have to make sure back. The problem is a lot of people think that build it and they will come is enough. It's really not. The common occurrence in packaging is people think that you can just seal your bread in plastic and add a label, with your contact number in a basic font, and that's it. That only builds a transactional connection, and that can only get you so far. When people make purchasing decisions, it is surprisingly more emotional than rational, and that's why packaging is important. Case in point, the Starbucks cup. Yeah, it's simple in nature, but it ticks off the boxes of what makes great packaging. From their choice of material to the convenience it provides, and best of all, the added touch of placing the person's name. Dale Carnegie is known to have said that a person's name is to him or her the sweetest and most important sound in any language. Starbucks' added touch of personalization has made people feel a sense of belongingness and connection to the brand. It's not just any cup of coffee, it's your cup of coffee. If you can find a way to connect to your audience and make them feel involved with your product, you can establish a stronger relationship and cultivate loyalty. Which brings me to my next point. Humans love connections. When you're in a crowded room, people find commonalities and create conversations about it. If you were in a bazaar selling your essential oils, you'd be able to talk to people and convince them why your product is better than another one in the same location. But what if you aren't physically present to sell your product, especially in this pandemic? What if you don't have a ₱1,000,000 budget for promodizers? On a smaller scale, what if you're just consigning and the person in that store can't sell your product the same way you do? This is when it becomes apparent that the packaging of your product is the face of your brand, among many other faces. Case in point, we have so many brands in this space, but the packaging of a product will make different impressions for different people. Some people like natural. Some people like the 99.9% bacteria killing action look. Some people want to feel foam come out when it hits water. Some people want it to be sensitive on their skin. Some people are afraid of toxic chemicals. Some people hate toxic chemicals that hurt the earth. The point is, different strokes for different folks. Think about it. You don't have to please everyone. Have you ever met anyone who has liked everyone on earth? Not really. You just need to spend your limited time on earth connecting with the right people and the people who matter to you. Oh wow, we were talking about packaging, right? Well, it's fairly the same. Don't try to be a one-size-fits-all brand. You really can't please everyone. If you Google how long it takes to make an impression, you'll find so many articles with all these matter-of-fact statements that it takes seconds to make an impression. In a world where fake news happens, you don't get to know what's true or not, but you do get to know the common sentiment of people, no matter how irrational it is. The point here is that it is second nature for people to judge a book by its cover. And that book cover is, surprise, your packaging. You can't control perception, but you have the power to influence it. Which leads me to my next point. When we look at products, your brain bursts with a series of assumptions that you may or may not be aware of. It's hard to be objective about things when it involves your brain, so we listed a list of items that can help you build a holistic positioning angle for your brand. I'll show it in a few case studies. So there's 5, right? There's photography, graphics, layout, writing, specifications, and social proof. I'll run you through these 5 per case study. So we redesigned Take Root's packaging to make sure that their product is well understood. In terms of photography, you get to see the kale, so you are assured that this is what you'll be seeing inside. We wanted to showcase that what you can expect inside is the same as the thing you see outside, because that's how you build trust. On graphics, we made sure to lay everything out in a way that you're not being deceived, unlike a lot of quote-unquote healthy brands. When people don't know about your brand, writing really helps. People tend to look front and back to verify that it is a good product. Writing helps because it tells the consumer that you're not out there to kill them. In Take Root's packaging, we made sure to communicate that Take Root is friendly, natural, local, and healthy. So on specifications, having clear specifications like regulatory certificates and standard certifications back up your writing because it's never good to lie about your product. Social proof transcends the product. When you see people on Instagram eating the product or people talking about it on a non-hard sell level, you know it's good. If you go to the grocery and find someone carrying it, you're bound to be curious on what this strong colored product is and why people are getting it from the shelves. So that's how packaging helps form perception. On the next slide, we have Yori. This is something we made for our friends at Yori, a brand that specializes in DIY furniture. Very helpful in this pandemic since you don't want the coronavirus risk that comes with having people in your house to install furniture. So on photos, you don't really need photos to communicate all the time. We went with illustrations because we wanted people to feel like it is a friendly brand that you can really DIY with. We wanted the layout of the whole package to be clean because anything complicated would make DIY intimidating. That's the opposite of DIY. You don't want people to get scared about botching their furniture job. If we simply wrote the word shelf on it, well, this is on writing at least, it'd come off as generic and you'd batch it with all the other shelves in the industry. Having friendly writing allows you to make subtle differentiations that allow you to be a better brand than brands who just want to meet the bare minimum. So with good writing, you're able to show people how much of a better brand you are. So on specifications help in furniture. When people buy things, you will always need specs before you bring it home. It's also an assurance that you can do things in 30 minutes or less, and it makes you more willing to DIY this out. Okay, for social proof, when people receive packaging, especially in online shopping, most people feel like it's a gift from themselves to themselves. That said, opening a package is like opening a gift, and you have to design it that way. Applying it to your brand, we go back to what I said earlier. You can't please everyone. Creating a profitable business doesn't involve pleasing everyone. You just have to figure out who you want to attract. So how old is your usual customer? Given that our eyes get weaker as we grow older, age helps you dictate how big your text should be. So that's how much of a determinant age can be. Where are they based? Location's a big thing. If you're selling for export, how do you communicate that your product is the best in your region? How do you communicate that it's endemic to your region? For preferences, it's best to figure out their likes and dislikes and why they choose your product over others. By knowing who you want to attract, you're able to create connections. You're able to build brand loyalty, which is something I'll be discussing in the next section. So the next point is esteem. By getting to this level in the hierarchy of needs, you're able to enjoy high-level experiences that not all brands can claim. Respect, social status, freedom to communicate. When you're at this level, you more or less won't have a hard time to prove your product to anyone. There is less doubt. There will be people rooting for you and want your brand to grow. This is a good place to be in because it'll allow you to do more. At this point, your hard work will start to pay off. Okay, so these brands aren't our projects, but I'm just pointing these out because it's nice to see local products take the global spotlight. People around the globe only go out of their country to find the best of a category. Part of what forms people's idea of what is the best is look and feel. When people like what they see, aka great packaging quality, it should follow that what's inside is also of great quality. Speaking of, I was actually going to say this later on, but I feel that this is the best time to say it. Please don't have good packaging and have a bad product. That is borderline deception and won't really do well for your brand. No amount of good design or good marketing can cure a bad product. You'd actually be better off with a good product with bad packaging versus the other way around. Packaging should accentuate the beauty of your product. Good products will speak for themselves, and adding great packaging will make the whole experience even better for your consumers. Speaking of really good products, we got to work with Caramel on their branding and packaging a year ago. We rooted Caramel's brand story in their rich history, freshness, and warmth. So Jet of Caramel brought Pandecillos back when we were still at AIM, and it was amazing. It's great to be able to work with a product that has so much story and intricacies behind it, because it gives us room to tell that story through their packaging. Caramel doesn't only sell Pandecillos, so we started to expand the look and feel to their other products. Our team created illustrations relevant to Caramel's history, and it made packaging a conversation starter when you gift it to someone. By changing things up with their packaging, it is something that stands out on a dining table, making anyone who sees it from afar become curious about it. By reading through the brand story, the intricacies of how it's made, it signals to the viewer that this thing is a really good product. It's a high quality one. That creates status, respect, and allows you to become one of the key players in the market. This is another project we worked on recently before the whole world stopped. Kasama Rum wanted to highlight the joy of celebration and its affinity to the beauty of the tropical islands of the Philippines. With this in mind, we had to shape the design that captured both of these things in a way no one else was doing. We sought to visually capture the spirit of Kasama through a brand system influenced by the vibrancy of Filipino aesthetic. With the design being so heavily rooted in Filipino culture, we also wanted to make it feel like a love letter from the Philippines itself. This resulted in stamp elements that added a personal touch to the brand, as well as hand illustrations of native flora and fauna. The takeaway with Kasama and Caramel is that if your packaging tells a story, the connection is smooth and effortless. When there is less friction and confusion, the value of your brand becomes clear and apparent. When that happens, you're on the last step on the hierarchy of needs. The peak is self-actualization. When your product is at a stage where it is fully understood and loved, people start to trust your brand and know that anything you come up with is of the same standard you've created with your first product. On a practical level, there's really less effort to explain why you're better than something else. You will start thinking big picture things like, how can we make things better? How can our brand improve the lives of our consumers? How can we help in solving global problems? How can we further highlight the rich culture our product is part of? How can we show the world what great products the Philippines has in store for them? It's a great feeling to be at this point because you're able to slowly delegate all operational, financial, legal concerns, and you're going back to focus on what motivated you to start your product. So how exactly do brands transcend their products? One way is to improve how humans experience things. Everyone probably knows Apple. They build great tech, and they're one of the first companies in the industry to value design. You'll see this in how their products are designed and packaged. Above all of the technical jargon, you'll see how they take design on a higher plane through their efforts. One of these is designing an experience to defend your fundamental right to privacy. In a sea of social media where everything is tracking your screen, your movements, how you interact, they've transcended their product and have been very forward about keeping you safe from all these invasive tech practices. By creating a narrative that goes beyond their products, people start to believe and follow in what Apple thinks. The brand loyalty on Apple is cult-like, and it's what a lot of brands strive to build towards. Another way brands transcend their product is by helping the planet. I know it's a weird time right now where we have to dispose face masks every day. produce so many face shields. But I firmly believe that after all this, we have to get back on track with saving the earth. Here's a good example of a seemingly small design decision making such a big impact. Instead of using plastic, Nespresso's capsules are made from aluminum, which is not just good for preserving the freshness and taste of the coffee, it's also infinitely recyclable, from the capsules to the coffee grounds within. So the last thing I wanted to talk about was how creating great products will uplift our country, especially in the state of the world and our economy in this pandemic. At Serious Studio, we're always in the pursuit of improving the human condition. We do that through design. Personally, I get frustrated about how a lot of people tend to look down on some Filipino products. When they see a premium local product for export, you usually hear some people say, Pinoy ba yan? Ba't ang mahal? Another thing is when they see a really nice product and find out it's a Filipino product, they go, Pinoy ba yan? Di halata. And that's really frustrating. We actually have a lot of great products in every island of the Philippines, and it would be a dream to make sure every produce gets designed and packaged nicely and showcased all over the world. Our culture as a country is rich, and there are so many stories behind every product that is made here. It will be really great to tell each story through design and packaging. So last year, we created a Christmas gift box for our clients. We wanted to send our clients in and out of the country some love by giving them a care package that showcases really good local products. As a Filipino design studio, we spent a lot of time this year pondering about Philippine design. We found our answer in our language. It's actually in our name, Filipino. Filipino reveals two concepts as beautiful, independently as they are as a whole. Pili at Pino, chosen and fine. To us, Filipino design is rooted in acknowledging the richness of our culture through the creation and celebration of things that are beautifully Filipino. Design-wise, we were inspired by the Filipino ancestral house. We intentionally wanted to evoke the warm welcome of a Filipino home, especially because the gift box was a curation of some of our favorite local brands. These products are not only exquisite, but exquisitely Filipino. In line with the motif of our gift box, we thoughtfully designed custom packaging for each and every product, with our own product with added Serious Studio flair. For instance, our collaboration with Risa Chocolate on their Pastillas de Pili bar highlighted not only the pili and the tree it comes from, but we also incorporated kapis or lampirong windows, a distinct architectural detail from the Filipino Heritage House aesthetic. We worked with the Got Heart Foundation to source honey from the Mangyans of Maguindanao. We also worked with our clients from Take Root and repackaged their champorado granola with a serious touch. We also loved Cebu Best Mango's mango chocolate, so we brought that in our care package as well. On the right, EDSA BDG back, so we reached out as well and asked if they could make a blend that matches the taste of Serious. We also worked with the amazing people of Halo Halo to come up with a small batch of Half Moon pouches in their style. We added in a hang tag to explain the craftsmanship behind the product. Okay, so I know I've been talking for a few minutes now, so here's a slide that sums everything up. Remember that before you even start with packaging your product, you have to make sure that your product is something worth putting out in the world. The world has so much clutter, so much noise, especially in the digital space. If you start a sushi bake brand right now, you will have thousands of sushi bake brands competing with you. Ube Pandesal, Gourmet Tuyo, you name it. There's nothing wrong with that actually, because competition is healthy. You just have to make sure that what you're putting out doesn't add to the noise, but creates a really good tune in the sea of noise. Once you have that product, make sure it's safe and sound and make sure that it doesn't kill people. That's really important. That goes with safety needs in the hierarchy. Stretching that music analogy a bit, if you make pop music, you'll probably have listeners who love pop music. If you make psychedelic music like Pink Floyd, you'll get an audience as well. We're billions of people in the world, and you'll always find your niche. Connections create followers, and followers will rally you on to every step of your brand's development. If you have people who hate your brand, try to look at the bright side and realize that it's actually really sad that there are people who are actually spending some time in their limited time on earth to be so negative about something. That's not worth your time. Keep creating and keep on improving your product. Once you have loyalty, you create a positive loop of refinement. People who admire your brand will always tell you what they would love to see. Take notes from them. Listen. As a business owner, you'll always have tunnel vision with your business. You will have a hard time seeing things the way an outsider would. Appreciate feedback. Take inspiration from it. Once you've reached the top, which is self-actualization, you have to pay it forward. Do great things. Help people who are in the physiological need state in their business. Do things that go beyond making money. Do things that give you your soul back. Do things that make the country better, regardless of what political affiliation you may have. Okay, so one last bit. If you want to read more about how our team thinks, you can check out the Serious Review. There's a bunch of articles there with our team's thoughts on design and business. So yeah, thanks so much for listening. I hope you learned a thing or two. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lester Lim Cruz, for that very informative talk. PAC Pinas is one of the major activities of our 2020 CamSur Business Expo, brought to us by the most outstanding chamber in Southern Luzon for 2 consecutive years, the Camarines Sur Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Incorporated. This afternoon is not only about gaining new inputs in packaging, we will also be giving away prizes. Our first recipient shall receive the 15,000 pesos worth of label and packaging assistance and a one-on-one session with Mr. Lester Lim Cruz from Serious Studio. Congratulations to Ms. Lilibet Baclogan of Let's Party and Cakes, Bagasbas Road, Daet, Camarines Sur. The Secretariat of the Camarines Sur Chamber of Commerce and Industry will coordinate with you on the details. Our third speaker is the Supervising Science Research Specialist of the Packaging Technology Division of the Industrial Technology Development Institute of the Department of Science and Technology. She is the lead researcher for the retort pouch technology. She also conducts package development, product package compatibility tests, process development, and shelf life testing, as well as trainings and workshops on packaging and labeling of food and non-food products. Friends, let us hear from Ms. Floridel Loberiano to discuss on the mandatory basis of Packaging Technology Division of DOST ITDI.
Good afternoon, everyone. So this afternoon, I will be discussing on the mandatory labeling requirements, focusing on the Philippine market. So to start with the discussion or the presentation, so I would like to introduce myself first. I'm Pinky Loberiano from the Packaging Technology Division of the DOST ITDI. So as I mentioned earlier, I will be discussing on the mandatory food labeling requirements. What is labeling? Labeling is a means provision of adequate information and accurate identification of the prepackaged foods on the package. It is a means by which the product communicates with the consumers, traders, the regulatory agency. And their label must be correct. It should not be misleading. It should be accurate and legible. A label can be any tag. It can also be a brand, mark, pictorial, or in other descriptive matter, it can be written, printed, marked, embossed, or impressed, or attached to any package. Remember that the main objective of labeling is to inform. Requirements, we should first know that there are two parts of a label. The first part is a principal display panel, or it can be an alternative principal display panel. This is the portion of the package label that is most likely to be seen by the consumer. So ito po yung naka-display, no? Naka-display sa ating mga groceries, sa display area sa mga supermarkets. Sometimes a food package may also have an alternative principal display panel. So this panel refers to the other surface of the package that is also suitable for display as the PDP. Another part of the label is the information panel. It is the label panel with statements that are generally required to be placed together. So, sinasabi nga information panel, so several information are written in this panel. These mandatories includes the ingredient list, the name and address of the manufacturer, name and address of the packer or distributor, the country of origin, expiry date is also written in this panel, nutrition facts, storage conditions, and barcode. So these are some of the samples of the PDP that the Packaging Technology Division has developed for our clients. So siguro po yung iba, no, medyo familiar na sa inyo. So this is the place where you can see the information panel and the PDP. Now, for the mandatory food labeling requirements for Philippines, so this is mandatory to all registered products as per the EO number 2014-0030 by the Food and Drugs Administration. So, implementing agency po natin dito is the Department of Health, FDA Philippines, which is formerly the Bureau of Food and Drugs, or BIFAD. So, what are the mandatories for the Philippines? First is the brand name. You should have also the trade name, the product identity name, or the name of the product, the net content declaration, ingredient declaration, name and address of the manufacturer, packer, or repacker, name and address of if you are the importer, trader, or distributor, the country of origin, such as what we usually state is the product of the Philippines. It should also have this expiry date or expiration date, the lot identification number, storage condition, food allergen information, direction or instructions for use, and the nutrition facts. For the Philippines, we have to indicate or declare the percent REN. So let's discuss this one by one. First is the brand name. So the following names cannot be registered with FDA Philippines. Dati po pwede, pero nung nagkaroon na sila ng amendment dun sa kanilang EO, so ito na, hindi na siya pwedeng gamitin. You cannot use a brand name that resemble another name, deceptively descriptive, the use of the words best or excellent. Mahilig tayong gumamit ng mga special, super, expert quality, yan. And you also cannot register a brand name which is geographically descriptive. Ano po ba ibig sabihin ng geographically descriptive? Yung gagamit po tayo ng lugar para po gamitin as the brand name. So these are some of the most popular brand names, no, dito sa Philippines. So brand name and trade names to. So meron tayong ito, kilalang-kilala, Choknat. Tapos ito, Mamasita, Boy Bawang. So for yung mga trademarks naman, meron tayo Goldilocks. So nag-evolve na nga yung label nila, nag-iba na rin yung logo nila. So ito kilala to sa dito sa Bicol, no? Sa Camarines Sur lang ba? Yung Big's Diner. So meron tayo syempre si Jollibee, Greenwich Red Ribbon. Tapos yung mga ito, Skyflakes, kilala na yan, matagal na. And also Pure Foods. So one of the mandatories first is the product identity or the product name. This is a name which distinguishes the product from other products of the same type. So it should be sufficiently precise description of the food and of its nature. It can be also a coined, fanciful brand and trademark name, which used provided it accompanies an appropriate description. And a product name must not confuse, deceive, or mislead the consumer. So kailangan din yung product name, pag ilalagay po natin sa labels natin, conspicuous, prominent, indelible, hindi siya dapat nabubura. Readily legible, so madaling basahin. So it should be in a prominent location and in the same field of vision, hindi yung ito yung principal display panel mo, pero ang product name mo nasa gilid ng package, yung mga ganon. It should be reasonably related to the largest type. Hindi po ina-allow yung, let's say, halimbawa, ang laki-laki nung brand name mo, tapos sobrang liit naman ng product identity name yun. Dapat medyo on the same, siya, no? Yung same siya ng vision. And the line generally parallel to the base of the package. So ito yung mga product identity names dito sa Bicol, no? Siyempre kilala yung J. Emanuel, si RPM, Pili. Siyempre kilala rin natin si Rhapsody. I don't know if naandito ba sila. Are you attending the webinar? Tapos may nakita rin ako isa. Ito yung mga bote. So of different naman to. Parang delicacies dito sa Bicol. So ito naman po yung mga label designs na na-develop ng PTD. So iba-iba siya, no? Meron tayo for coffee, for biscuits, for brownies or butterscotch squares, and also for yung traditional suma ng Dumaguete, yung budbud kabug. So another mandatory that should be in your label or in the PDP is the net content declaration. Ano ba yung net content declaration? Madaling maintindihan. Ito lang yung laman. This is the expression of the weight, measure, or numerical count, or it can be a combination of numerical count and weight of the product inside the package. So ito po yung laman. Pag sinabi natin net content declaration, ito lang yung weight ng mismong laman ng package. So hindi kasali yung weight nung ginamit mong package, whether it's bote, lata, or plastic bag. So samples natin, so ito yung mga samples natin. We have here net weight. So nakalagay dito 227 space G, small letter G. Pansinin nyo po yung mga units. So net weight, pwede rin 1.5 kg. So small letter siya. Pag naman liquid yung product, you can use net volume 355 M, capital L, or 355 small letters M and L. Bakit ko ini-emphasize yung mga units? Kasi po, ito pong mga units like G, kg, ml, these are used as a symbol, not as an abbreviation. So, kailangan, kung ang product mo ay in grams, so you will use small letter G without S, without period. Napansin niyo po ba? Wala siyang S, wala siyang period. Pag naman kilogram, small letter K and small letter G. Pag milliliters, can be small letter M, capital L, or both small letter M and L. Ngayon, pag sasabihin nyo, paano yung maramihan? So, ito po yun, no? Yung mga multipacks na tinatawag natin. For net contents, it is written here, yung example natin, 480 space G. Tapos, ibig sabihin, ang multipack, ang laman niya is 24 pieces. So, yung pieces, pwede nyo pong i-abbreviate. No? So, ano ba abbreviation ng pieces? So, PCS. So, pwede yon. Pwede rin, pag liters naman ang ginamit natin, pwedeng capital letter L or small letter L. Okay? So, ito po ang list of some of the units and kung ano po yung ginagamit as symbol, tapos yung iba naman as abbreviation. So, yan. May reference na po kayo kung ano yung pwede nyong gamitin. So, sample natin, ito, yan o. Kasulat siya net weight since ito po ay mga wafer stick, no? Stick wafer. So, may net weight siya, tapos ito yung nakalagay niyang weight, 7.4 ounce, tapos in closed parenthesis, 210, small letter G. So, pagka ito ginamit, bakit ounce? Bakit ounce? Kasi po, pwede, siguro ito ay ine-export, no? Ine-export natin. So, kung ang mandatory doon sa country na kung saan ka mag-export is dual, ito yung sinatawag ng dual declaration. So, pwedeng in English or metric system. Tulad sa US, English sila. So, yun yung mga pounds, ounce, pint, diba? Okay. Next is the ingredient declaration. So, ano ba yung ingredient declaration? This is the list of all ingredients. So, lahat ng ginamit yung ingredients, lahat ng pumasok or naandun sa ating product, you should have it listed, complete. No? Walang itatago, walang secret. Wala na secret. Then the list should be in descending order of predominance by weight. Ibig sabihin, kung ano po yung pinakamaraming ingredient na ginamit for the product, yun po yung mauuna sa list natin. No? Now, if your food has 2 or more district components, tulad po ng ating mga buko pie, yan, di ba yung mga pies natin, meron tayong filling at meron tayong pie crust. So, pag ganun ang product, you should have a separate list, no, of ingredients for your filling and for your crust. Yun. Of course, in descending order pa rin of predominance by weight. And the ingredients shall be specific and not collective or generic. The common name or usual name of an added preservative shall be declared together with a separate description of its function. Halimbawa, gumamit po kayo ng mga preservatives. Let's say, gumamit ka ng sodium metabisulfite. Ano ba yung function noon? Bakit ka naglagay noon? Gumamit ka ng sodium nitrate, ba? Ng mga nitrates. Bakit ka gumamit noon? Or gumamit ka ng citric acid. Ano yung function? Ba't ka gumamit? Usually citric acid or acidulants. No? So, yun. Lalagay mo in closed parenthesis kung ano yung function. Now, for single ingredients, you don't need to declare yung ingredient. Sample po ng mga products na may single ingredient. Meron ba kayo naisip? Naisip ko, honey. Di ba ang honey, dapat siya lang ang ingredient. So pag nagkaroon siya ng other ingredients, adulterated na siya, hindi na siya pure. Another is yung coffee. Yung mga ground coffee, brewed coffee, di ba? Dapat siya lang. No? It can be a combination of different varieties, ano ba tawag? Or varieties, pero coffee pa rin yun. Now, ingredients known to cause hypersensitivity shall always be declared as such. So, ito po yung mga allergens nating tinatawag. So, ngayon sa ingredient declaration, dinideclare na rin natin yung allergens for food safety. Kasi nga, remember that the main objective of labeling is to inform. Sino ba ini-inform mo? Inform mo yung customer mo, yung consumers mo. Diba? Let's say, limbawa, bumili siya ng product mo, tapos meron ka palang nalagay doon na allergy pala yung, yung customer mo. So, syempre, liable ka doon, di ba? So, kaya nga, you give complete information of your product, lalo na kung mga food products yan. What are these allergens? Identified allergens, cereal, crustaceans and their products. Crustaceans and their products, ito yung mga shellfish, shrimps, crabs, yan, lobster, yan. Eggs and their products. Ano yung eggs natin? So, syempre, eggs, tapos, halimbawa, meron kang mayonnaise. Di ba may egg yun? So, egg product yun. Fish and their products. So, lahat ng fish. Peanuts, soybeans, and their products. O, di ba? Allergen pala yun. So, yung taho, soybeans yun, di ba? So, yan yung mga, yung mga soybean milk, ganyan. So, allergen siya. Milk and milk products. So, marami yan. Milk and milk products. Hindi lang mismong milk, pati yung mga butter, cheese, yogurt, yan, mga cream cheese, yan. Milk and milk products, yan. Tree nuts and nut products. Tree nuts. May mga tree nuts kasi hiwalay naman yung peanuts. Tree nuts, ito yung mga walnut, chestnut, pine nuts. Yan. Siyempre, hindi included dito ang coconut. Hindi po yung nut. No? A coconut is not a nut. And of course, yung sulfite naman. Allowed siya up to 10 ppm lang. So, very minimal lang na allowance for the sulfite. Bakit po allergen ang sulfite? Kasi yung sulfite na ginagamit, let's say, for anti-browning agent siya, di ba? So, ginagamit siya sa mga dried fruits. Yan. Sa mga dried candies, yan. Ano yan? Nagtitrigger siya ng asthma. So, kung ang kakain noong mayroong sulfite ay may asthma, yan. Pwede siyang atakihin. You should also declare yung name and address of the manufacturer, packer, or distributor. So, this includes the firm name, company name. So, complete address dapat. Plus the telephone number. Plus the email address. Kung gusto nyong maglagay ng email ad, pwede na po. Katulad ngayon, usong-usong may email ads, may website, may FB account, may Instagram account. Yan. Yan. Pwedeng ilagay. Basta nababasa at saka kung talagang importante na malaman. For recall din po kasi ito. Bakit natin kailangan ilagay yung complete name and address? For recall. Halimbawa, yung product mo maraming nakagusto, gustong bumili ulit, gusto mag-order ng maramihan. So they can contact you. So yun yung benefit for the manufacturer, for the company. And for the consumer naman, kung meron siyang naging problema with your product, nagkaroon siya ng allergy or nakabili siya ng sira, nakabili siya ng may amag or spoiled, ganyan. So they can also contact you. di ba? Para ma-inform kayo kung ano yung naging reklamo ng customer. Okay? Of course, you have to declare yung country of origin. Dito sa Philippines, lalagay natin product of the Philippines. So, kung product of the Philippines, ganito po usually ang format na nilalagay natin, no? Tapos, mas maganda po, bubuuin na natin yung Philippines, no? Total, kung meron namang, nasa layouting yan eh. Kung malaki naman yung space ng labels, buuin nyo na yung Philippines. Kasi usually nakikita natin para product of fields. Pakilala naman natin Philippines, buuin na po natin yung Philippines. Kaya nalagay product of RP. So Philippines na siguro mas maganda. Now, the date marking and storage instructions. Ano ba yung date marking? Ito po yung shelf life or storage life ng product. So, nilalagay na natin yan. Ngayon, ang format ng paglalagay natin is pagka ang iyong product ay naglalast for, let's say, less than 3 months, ilalagay mo lang is the day and month. No? Kung more than 3 months naman siya, you can declare month and year. Halimbawa, ngayon ay October. So, October 2020. Ngayon, pag mas matagal than 3 months, so, pwede mo naman ilagay ang date, month, and year. Okay? Exception pala na you don't need to declare yung shelf life or no date marking required for alcoholic beverages. Okay? Yan. We also have to declare sa label, ang dami, no? Yung lot identification number. So this is the mark or code that clearly identify the lot or batch when the product is produced. Again, this is for recall. Okay. Bawa, may nagreklamo sa inyo na balik ng product kasi nasira agad or may nakalason or gano'n. At least matitrace nyo kailan to ginawa, gaano katagal. Baka nagkaroon kayo ng problema sa planta. Kaya medyo nagkaroon ng under-processing or what. So, makikita mo yun sa lot identification number. Now, for the storage condition, again, isa ito sa ini-implement na or ini-declare na sa label for food safety. Kasi nga, ang responsibility natin sa ating mga consumers. So the products that need special storage conditions shall be printed clearly, conspicuously, and indelibly on all the product label. Halimbawa po, meron kayong product na needs to be frozen. Halimbawa, pag bumili siya, dapat frozen siya talaga. So lalagay mo lang doon, keep frozen at what temperature. Dapat po nilalagay natin what specific temperature. Kung ano talaga yung optimum temperature. Hindi lang basta keep frozen. Hindi ganun. Kasi pwedeng keep frozen pero 0 degrees lang. And usually, ang freezing temp natin is -18 degrees Celsius. So, yun, lalagay natin. Bawa, meron ka ring product na very sensitive siya sa light or very sensitive siya sa heat. So, ilalagay mo siya kung ano yung storage temperature na dapat siya. Kung dapat ba siya refrigerated, dapat ba siya chilled, yung mga ganun. So, dinideclare na po natin yun sa labels. Ito kasi yung mga updates ng labeling requirements ng Philippines. Okay. Again, for the expiry date, i-mention ko lang, no? Dati kasi, ang pag-declare ng expiry date, no? Pwedeng all numbers. Pero ngayon po, yung month dapat ay in words na siya. Kasi dati may Maraming mga nakakalusot na hindi pa yung expired kasi pinagpapalit-palit nila yung pala month, tapos gagawin nilang hindi, yun ay day, mga ganun. So, ngayon wala nang lusot kasi in words na ang month. Okay. So for the open date marking or shelf life, no, ito po yung mga products, food products needs na which requires na meron siyang shelf life na nakadeclare sa label. First, we have the liquid milk products. If you will notice, lahat ng mga liquid milk in mga Tetra Pak ay meron ng mga expiry date. Bakery products. So, lahat ng bakery products na mina-market in big supermarkets or outside your locality or your area, dapat po meron ng expiry date. Pero kung ang halimbawa kayo ay may bakery, no, within your subdivision, halimbawa, tapos nagbebenta ka lang naman ng pandesal within your subdivision, nagbebenta ka ng ube cheese pandesal within your locality, within yung maliit mo lang na community, no need na pong maglagay ng expiry date or ng shelf life. For infant food formula, syempre importante yan, no? Kasi syempre yung mga babies natin, hindi dapat makakain ng mga expired na pagkain. Vitamin C enriched foods. Bakit kailangan natin ng shelf life, ng expiration date for vitamin C enriched foods? Kasi po ang vitamin C ay nagde-degrade, no? Na-oxidize, no? By heat. So kailangan meron siyang expiry date. For dried powdered milk products, again, milk products dapat meron the expiry date, and for bottled water. Directions for use, it shall indicate clearly and indelibly in all product label applicable or as necessary to ensure correct utilization of the product. Pero siguro naman sa Philippines, medyo aware naman tayo kung ano yung mga produkto. Unless ang mabibili nyo ay galing sa ibang province na hindi tayo talaga aware kung paano gamitin. So, mas maganda inilagay natin yung directions for the use of the product. Nice. Now, for the nutrition labeling shall be presented in tabular form. It shall use percent recommended energy and nutrient intake. Ito na po yung RENI values. Ito po yung sample natin. Yan. So, kailangan na in RENI form yung ating nutrition label. Kung dito po sa Philippines, ima-market yung food product nyo. Pero, banggitin ko na, I would like to mention na yung RENI, hindi po yan ginagamit sa export market. So, dito lang talaga yan sa Philippines. Specifically for Filipino, dito sa Filipino consumers natin. So, your label should not be misleading or misleading yung declaration or representations. Halimbawa, yung claim of prevention, yan maraming ganyan. Cure, mitigation, or treatment of any disease, dietary property, yan. Minsan nakikita mo na dun sa label mo, nandun na lahat. Can cure, ganito, gantong sakit. So, hindi po yan pinapayagan. Unless meron kayong supporting documents. Pwede yun. Representation relative to flavor. Halimbawa, ang product mo naman ay mango flavored or strawberry flavored juice. Hindi naman yung fresh ang juice. Huwag mong ilalagay na fresh. Huwag mong ilalagay na ang ingredient mo ay, let's say, fresh strawberry. So, hindi pwede yun. Use of photographs and graphic representations. You can use this for as serving suggestion or suggested serving. No? And the name, use of names and places. Ito yung kanina yun. geographic description, hindi na pwede. Of course, yung language po natin dapat ay English or Filipino or combination. Bakit dapat may English? Kasi po marami tayong ibang mga products like from other provinces or towns or ibang mga places na hindi naman familiar sa lahat. So, para lang maintindihan, you can always put an English name, or kung wala talagang English name, you can put an English description of your product. Yan. Sample na lang natin dyan yung dinuguan. Paano mo ba, ano ba yung English name ng dinuguan? O, di ba? O, yan. Sige. Pag-isipan nyo kung ano yung sagot dyan. Okay. Other requirements, so for alcoholic beverages, you should indicate the alcohol content in terms of percentage, volume, or proof units. So, mandatory yan. For irradiated foods, dapat i-declare mo daw treated with irradiation. For halal, kosher, and other organic logos, this should be substantiated. Dapat may mga supporting documents. So, sinabi mong halal, so kailangan certified ka. Meron ka certification na panghahawakan. Hindi ka lang maglalagay basta na ito ay halal. Ito ay organic. So, kailangan talaga substantiated siya. Now, exemptions for labels. Yung shipment to be processed, ibig sabihin, raw material pa lang siya. Shipment to be labeled or repacked. The food held for sale in retail establishment is weighed or counted within the view of the consumer. Katulad nito, itong mga samples natin, itong mga candies na to. Yan. Diba? Yan i-wini-weigh sa harapan ng mga consumer, like fruits and vegetables. Wini-weigh yan sa harap. So, wag naman tayo maghanap ng mga mandatories dyan. Huwag mo nang hanapan niya ng mga nutrient content at kung ano-ano pa. Kasi hindi exempted na nga sila. So, that's all for my first presentation. So, have a nice day. Thank you. At this point, I would like to introduce to you our office, which is the Packaging Technology Division. So the Packaging Technology Division, which is formerly the PRDC or the Packaging Research Development Center. This was established in September 1999 and was formalized as a division of ITDI in August 2009. So we make law for PTD, we make law products global competitive through innovative and sustainable packaging. So the mandate of the division first is to undertake research and development on packaging. We conduct packaging testing and performance evaluation of packaged products, develop packaging design. We provide training, seminar, and workshop on packaging, maintain a packaging library and databases on packaging, and provide consultation and other packaging-related services. So these are our competent and qualified manpower. So ito po yung mga staff ng PTD. So we have chemical engineers, we have mechanical engineers, we have chemists, food technologists, and yun. Tapos may yung mga support staff namin. So ito pa yung mga iba naming mga staff sa PTD. So we also have the designers, no? Ito yung in-house designers namin. So we have 5 major facilities sa division. First is the packaging R&D, testing, packaging design, packaging library information, and we also have the packaging pilot plant. So what are the services that PTD offers? First is the research and development on new innovative packaging technology. So we have developed especially for retort foods. So these are some of the products of our clients na na-develop. First, ito yung sa Mega Sardines in retort pouch. So Mega Sardines was one of our very first clients, no? And also we assisted yung Goldilocks dito sa pag-develop noong ready to eat nila, no, na mga viands in retort pouch. Also, if you know yung mushroom sisig na Ginaganyo Farms, traditional snacks like yung mga ginataang puso, ginataang mais, ganyan. And also yung suma ng Region 8, yung moron. So we also develop retort foods as relief, calamity, and combat foods. So we have the brand name, yung Pack of Hope. So we have distributed this RTE relief foods in different areas na nasalanta ng mga calamities. So meron na rin kaming, marami na rin kaming na distribute dito sa Bicol. We also developed yung multi-layer high barrier packaging technology for frozen durian to keep the flavor and aroma of the product. So with this multi-layer packaging, high barrier packaging, so wala pong migration yung ng odor dun sa durian. Diba usually na baban or bawal ang durian, no? Ipasok, let's say, for hotels, for mga public transport, specific, lalo na sa mga aircrafts or sa mga sa aeroplano. But with this packaging material, with this technology, packaging technology, so mapiprevent nito yung migration ng durian odor. So another service is the application of packaging technology or technique for improved product shelf life. So for shelf life improvement, we use high barrier packaging technology for different food products like katulad nito yung mga snack foods or biscuits. So napiprevent niya yung mabilis na pagiging rancid, yung pag-oxidize ng mga products na ito, pati yung pag-loss ng mga crispiness, crunchiness, or iba pang mga qualities ng product. So ito yung microwavable chicharon sa Bulacan. So in-assist din po namin sila. So for active packaging, high barrier packaging technology for extended shelf life and freshness of disaster relief foods like ito yung mga monay, tinapay, pandesal, yan. So with the use of active packaging, or these are oxygen scavengers or absorbers, and also yung mga mold, anti-molding agents. So nilalagay natin siya dyan to prevent yung mabilis na pagsira ng product. So yung monay natin or yung tinapay natin, which lasts only for about 3 to 5 days, with the use of this active packaging technology, so umabot siya ng 2 months. So pwede rin siya ilagay sa mga rice or grains, nuts, yan. Napiprevent na yung rancidity ng product. For modified atmosphere packaging, we have developed yung packaging for fresh cut flowers and fresh cut fruits and vegetables. So ito po yung mga fresh cut natin na papaya, cauliflower, broccoli, and others, salad. Tapos ito yung mga fresh cut na roses, anthurium, yan, Malaysian mums. Now, for packaging technology innovation for pork lechon to keep the freshness and ensure the product safety, lagi natin problema for lechon. Pag bumili tayo, let's say from Cebu, ita-travel, ita-transport dito sa Manila. Pagdating sa Manila, ayan na, nagbabasa na, nagdi-drip na yung oil ng lechon. So, we developed a packaging carton box pa rin siya pero insulated siya. So pagka nilagay mo yung whole lechon, crispy pa rin siya even after 12 hours. So for shelf life testing, we conduct shelf life testing for these products: low acid canned or bottled foods, high acid foods, dried foods, perishables, and frozen. For packaging testing, to include package compatibility, contaminants, and performance evaluation. So we have our own PTD laboratory for migration test and testing of packaging-related contaminants. So nag-test po kami ng migration test for different plastic films or packaging. So ito yung standards na ginagamit for the migration test. And we also conduct specific packaging contaminants testing for bisphenol A or BPA, phthalates in paper and paperboard, benzophenone in plastic packaging, and acetaldehyde in PET bottles. We also conduct package testing for physical properties like thickness, mechanical properties like tensile strength, elongation, heat seal strength. So meron kaming mga UTM machines sa office. So for bursting strength, meron din kami yan, coefficient of friction. So all testing of packaging materials. For barrier properties, so meron kami nung WBTR and OTR tests for films. And other testing devices, services, we have the identification of packaging materials using DSC and the determination of residual toluene or ethyl acetate in printed packaging materials. For transport packaging, we do performance evaluation. So ito yung drop test. No? Meron kaming drop test. So meron kaming compression tester. Meron kaming vibration tester, yan, for transport packaging yan. For packaging design, we also do or conceptualize and develop cushion design for usually non-food products. So to avoid yung over-packaging na usually naman wala namang protection sa product. So dinidesign na lang yung cushion. So we also do packaging design for distribution packaging for fresh produce. So for fruits and vegetables, like ito broccoli, mango, mangosteen, and smoked fish. Also for kamote. Yan. And for durian, no? Pwedeng frozen and fresh. We develop transfer packaging to facilitate handling, like this one for solo papaya. Usually, pagka ito yung mga wooden crates, yan, nagasgas na siya, no? Nasira na yung peel ng papaya. And for this vegetables, lalo ito yung mga high-value crops natin from Benguet, yung mga broccoli. Ito yung usual practice, no? Pinupuno na lang yung plastic bags na malalaki or itong mga improvised na mga carton boxes, and then sisiksikin nila lahat dyan para magkasya. So pagdating sa Manila ay pangit na. So, ang dami mga trimmings, tinatanggal ang mga trimmings, ayan. So ang laki ng wastage. Kaya nagmamahal yung product, yung gulay. So we have developed ito para mas naprotektahan yung mga broccoli or other vegetables. So for new and innovative package designs for increased product visibility and competitiveness, so these are some of the label designs developed by our in-house designers. So we have developed ito yung mga packaging label designs for package coffee. Ito yung mushroom tempura, biscuits, ito yung native delicacy, and also ito yung sa vinegar I understand itong vinegar ni Lola Conching dito yan sa Bicol. So label design also to preserve the cultural heritage, like for yung mga magaganda nating mga products from ano yun, no? Yung katulad nito, yung yakan, our upland rice, tapos ito yung tinalak. Na usually pagka binibili natin, nilalagay lang naman, binabalot lang sa dyaryo or sa manipis na sando bag. So parang nawawala yung value. Kaya yan, gusto namin i-preserve at gusto nating ipakita na we have yung mga local products natin world class din naman yan pag naipak na ng maayos. Yan. So these are also samples of heritage or upland rice, no? From Ifugao and Kalinga. To promote tourism, ayan, ito pinagawa nung mayor ng El Nido dati, to promote yung mga kasoy sa Palawan. And also we develop brands and logo. So yeah. For the use of facilities, we also have the vacuum packaging machine, form fill seal packaging machine, continuous band sealer, and the retort chamber. So meron pa niyan. So pwede yung i-use yung mga packaging machine sa office. Pwedeng gamitin for tall packing, magre-rent, no? Meron per hour. So we also have technical supervision, nutrition labeling, short-run production of boxes. We also conduct training on graphic design, shelf life, and others. And also we conduct seminars on packaging. So this is ito yung brochure namin for the service rates available at our division. So ito yung with with cost na. So ang cost namin, lahat po ito subsidized, meaning ang babayaran nyo lang is kung ano yung materials or let's say for the testing chemicals na ginamit. So wala namang bayad yung wala kaming professional fee. So what's next? For the PTD, may ongoing construction ng Simulated Packaging Testing Laboratory or the SPTL. So dito yung test lahat for transport packaging. So naka-include din dito yung Green Packaging Laboratory, and also nire-renovate din po yung aming food pilot plant. Hopefully matapos na siya before the year ends, no? Para magamit na lahat. So, in behalf of the Packaging Technology Division, ito po yung staff namin. Ito na yung complete staff namin. So, yan. 30 lang kami sa division. So, yan. So if you need any to avail of our services dito sa Packaging Technology Division, you can always contact our division chief, si Miss Daisy Tanya Franca. So naandito na rin naman yung aming contact number and address. So anytime pwede po kayong tumawag, or you can email us for any inquiry on related to packaging. So in behalf of the Packaging Technology Division of DOST-ITDI, I would like to thank the Camarines Sur Chamber of Commerce and Industries Incorporated for this invitation. Thank you very much and good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Ms. Florida Loberiano, for that comprehensive talk. Again, we would like to invite all our participants to visit CamSurChamber.com and access our virtual showroom promoting Bicolano brands. Our fourth speaker is the President and Chairman of the Board of the Packaging Institute of the Philippines from 2012 to 2019. He is a consultant in various agencies, and he is skilled in operations management, customer service, sales, and strategic planning. He has a master's degree in National Security Administration from National Defense College of the Philippines. Ladies and gentlemen, we are fortunate to have this afternoon Dr. Joseph Ross Hoxon to discuss right packaging for the right product.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the virtual PACPINAS Packaging Solutions to Kickstart Your Business webinar. I am Dr. Joseph Ross Hoxon, Vice President of the Asian Packaging Federation, Director and Past President of the Packaging Institute of the Philippines. I'm here this afternoon to discuss with you how to choose the right packaging for your product. Now, what are the things needed to consider for your packaging? When it comes to choosing the right packaging material for your product, you can't go wrong by paying close attention to the details. After all, the packaging may just be as the biggest factors in making your product a success. The right packaging not only attracts consumers, it will keep your product safe in transportation and keep it fresh. This reinforces the quality of the branded item when customers know that they can count on a fresh item from when it hits the shelves to when it's in their hands. This also means that the wrong packaging could be detrimental. Therefore, a sleek design and top-notch branding are key elements for any piece of product packaging. Functionality is just as important. We will help you choose the right package to set your product apart on the shelf and to meet the success after it leaves your facility. Now, here is a list of important considerations that we will discuss. Now, take a look at these photos. What are the common between these two, aside that they are both fruit-bearing trees? They are actually one of our basic form of packaging. Since time immemorial, our ancestors are using the banana leaves and coconut leaves as packaging for food products, like our favorite suman. But what is the problem here? There are so many concerns with this type of packaging. First is cleanliness and sanitation. Secondly is the shelf life of the product. Good thing that because of evolution of packaging, we now have vacuum packaging films. Now, our favorite suman can now last up to 6 months and can be exported worldwide and enjoyed by our fellow Filipinos around the globe. Now, take a look at this next one. We all love fresh buko juice, but shipping this to other parts of the world is difficult because of its varying shape and size. So what producers do is that they extract the juice and pack them in different containers. But one supplier has more imagination than others. Now, what is packaging? Now, let us go through the different types of packaging materials that you may need in your packaging. These are the paper and paperboard, which are laminated structures, can be highly glossy surfaces, and pressure-sensitive labels such as folding boxes, paper wrappers, sheets, and labels. We also have plastic. Now, there are different types of plastic. One is the rigid plastics, which are made through injection blow molding, just like what you see here. Another type of plastics are the flexibles. These are co-extruded laminate structures, can be vacuum metallized, and requires high-speed and high-quality full-color gravure or flexographic printing, examples of which are films, sachets, laminated tubes. We also have glass. Now, most of the glasses uses lightweight technology used for bottles of food, condiments, beverages. Metals. You can use this in 2-piece cans for soft drinks, cans for food products, metal caps for food. Now let us classify the packaging that you might need. If you're into the food industry, you might need first the primary packaging. This is which surrounds and is in direct contact with the product as sold to the consumers. The secondary packaging are those that contain several of the same products with primary packaging, as in trays and display packs. As you can see here in the example, this is a pack of 10. And then you have the tertiary packaging. It's a transport packaging unit, usually a pallet or a corrugated box containing trays or display packs. So therefore, when considering your total package, you have to include all these things, your primary, your secondary, and tertiary, in the costing of your products. Now, how do manufacturers choose packaging? First, the technical issues. You have to know the nature of your product, the level of protection you might need, the manufacturing process to be used, it's either manual or automatic or semi-automatic, how the product will be distributed, and conformity to any legal requirement. And also very important is the marketing value, the shape, color, market positioning, consumer convenience, promotional and information considerations. An effective package. Simple, makes use of focal points, stands out from competition, makes selection within the product line easy, has the right quality impression, reflects the image of the brands, and has the potential to be evolutionary in design when upgraded. It should reflect a good balance between functionality and aesthetics. There are two types of categories of packaging. If you go straight to consumer, that is consumer packaging. It is intended for retail merchandising and emphasizes the sales features. But if you go through bulk packaging, delivering to warehouses, commissaries, manufacturing facilities, that is the industrial and distribution category. These are more plain packaging, probably just some sort of information and no more intricate designs in the packaging. Now, what are the things needed to consider for your packaging? When it comes to choosing the right packaging material for your product, you can't go wrong by paying close attention to the details. After all, the packaging may just be as the biggest factors in making your product a success. The right packaging not only attracts consumers, it will keep your product safe in transportation and keep it fresh. This reinforces the quality of the branded item when customers know that they can count on a fresh item from when it hits the shelves to when it's in their hands. This also means that the wrong packaging could be detrimental. Therefore, a sleek design and top-notch branding are key elements for any piece of product packaging. Functionality is just as important. We will help you choose the right package to set your product apart on the shelf and to meet the success after it leaves your facility. Now, here is a list of important considerations that we will discuss for successfully planning your packaging. Packaging budget, packaging transportation, packaging materials and sustainability, packaging size, packaging design and branding. In packaging budget, before you begin in any packaging endeavor, you must determine the scope of your budget. This will determine what kind of materials you can use and what you can spend making your design as enticing as possible. Remember, packaging cost is a big portion of the cost of goods. Materials like glass and natural fibers look terrific and are visually appealing to consumers, but they are not cheap, either to manufacture or to ship. Glass is heavy and breakable, leading to shipping and storage concerns, and may lead to increased consumer prices. Sometimes, a consumer is willing to pay more for greater perceived value, but sometimes that increase in price is not worth the cost of additional packaging. There are many budget-friendly packaging options too. Food-grade cardboard is a relatively inexpensive material that can offer reasonable crush protection and interesting design features. Plastic is not the most environmentally friendly option, though is often recyclable, can be made from recycled materials, or both. Talking that up on the packaging itself can be an incentive to the consumer to feel good about buying your product. Finding the right balance of what you want to spend on creative and in production versus what you'll need to spend on materials will largely affect the success of your project. Packaging transportation. Once you've decided on the package design, it's time to consider function. No matter how amazing the design, if the package does not function properly, it will do you no favors. An amazing design that tells consumers it was made for them but can travel from your facility to the shelves without being damaged is a packaging that is worthless. If your package is bulky, delicate, or any kind of unusual shape, it is important to consider materials that are designed for strength. For example here, these are vegetables coming from the Mountain Province going down to Manila. A big portion of this will be wastage because of poor packaging during transportation. Packaging materials and sustainability. When it comes to packaging materials, it is a good rule of thumb to treat your products like you would treat yourself. Just as you would want not to live in a home that is too big or too small, the right space for the right packaging has a great effect on the end result. Shrink films and many other flexible packaging materials are lightweight and most yield excellent printing results. The cost from a freight and shipping standpoint is also ultra favorable for businesses when compared to heavier, bulkier packaging. Additionally, there are film options available to help you brand promote sustainability with less recyclable packaging and less packaging waste. Flexible films are best used for food, dairy, cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, hardware items, and retail products to protect, extend shelf, and provide an attractive package on and off the shelf. PET bottles are also good as they are highly recyclable. There are plenty of recycling facilities that accept these bottles. For this product, it used recycled paper and cardboard boxes as its outer clamshell. It is also good to know that your paper or paperboards came from a protected forested area as to protect our environment. Packaging size. If you have products that comes in many different sizes, you may well be able to reduce costs by designing few different size packages instead of several individual sizes by being economical with the dimensions and design. Being creative in this way and incorporating cost-saving measures such as this can ensure the integrity of the product you ship. As an added bonus, you will save both time and money, and you will also ensure consistency throughout your products. Packaging design and branding. Look at this example, the Don Papa rum. At first glance, you might think that this is an imported liquor coming from probably South America or Eastern Europe. But this is closer to home. This is from Negros, but they incorporated intricate design and packaging that it made it stand out in the shelves. While it's important to consider budget, transportation, materials, and package design, and to incorporate each of these elements into your overall packaging design, it's key to keep your audience at the forefront of each decision. Keeping your target audience at the forefront of your design along the way will help you meet overall success with packaging design. The type of material you choose to use in your packaging design is a part of your brand. So any disconnect between your materials or design and your brand's message will confuse the consumers and make them lose trust. For this one, the packaging they gave it a second life. After buying the product, you can use the packaging as a display case when you get home. To appeal to your consumers, you have to research and understand them enough before you make these key marketing and branding decisions. There are endless options for packaging material available. The only limitations are those of budget, sustainability, and perhaps your imagination. Be sure to review all aspects of packaging material options and come up with a workable plan to keep your key demographics at its center. Most importantly, make sure your brand's message is conveyed to your audience with any package you put on the shelf. Now, let us discuss some key drivers and trends that will influence your packaging design. The progression of packaging demand is influenced by a wide range of factors from year to year, and also factors with a much longer-term influence. While the economy plays a central role in influencing the size and growth of the market, there are a number of factors which can be seen as having a direct or at least indirect influence on packaging demand, or at any rate, the nature of this demand, irrespective of the performance of the economy. This includes the aging of the world population, the trend towards smaller households. Right now, families are just considering 1 to 2 child. Increasing requirements for convenience among consumers, rising health awareness among consumers, the trend of on-the-go lifestyles among increasingly time-poor consumers. So some people, they just want ready to eat, ready to drink, all those instant things. Now, growing requirement for brand enhancement differentiation in an increasingly competitive environment. Next is the new packaging material development. The move towards smaller pack sizes as incidents of families eating together at the dinner table becomes less common because a lot of people now are dining outside. Also, increasing awareness of environmental issues and adoption of new regulatory requirements on packaging recycling. Now, in consideration of the total packaging and design concept that you are looking at, it's vital that you don't head straight for the cheapest solution that you can source, but instead look at the packaging as an investment in your marketing, because when your product is sat on the shelf, that's exactly what it is. The right packaging can attract customers to your brand very effectively and can say a lot about your business through high quality packaging. Your product is your business. Making sure that it is well supported and marketed properly can be the difference between your first customer and the million. But products can come in all shapes and sizes, which is why a one-solution-fits-all mentality of some businesses only goes to highlight the lack of investment that's needed to set your product apart from the competition. A good way to think about the design and layout of the packaging is to consider it as an extension of the product itself. Everything about your product should match your brand and the product it's holding. Hand-drawn logos and labeling. Packaging design continues to evolve and push boundaries either through new materials or style. So in case you're about to rebrand or launch a new product, here are a number of emerging packaging design trends that you might see often. The handwritten look for the typography used looks to some extent imperfect, but that gives the product charm and character, such as this. These are examples of handwritten fonts and designs. Personalization is still a thing today, as digital printing now can handle different types of printing even on short runs, as people want to buy things under their name or give it to someone special. It also becomes a collector's item. Cleaner and clear labeling. We will see this often today as we now have very good digital printing. Functional packaging. As you can see here, you can tear off the cap to squeeze the product outside or peel off the top and you can use this as a dip. Illustrations. Nice beautiful graphics for this chocolate milk bar. This is also a different type of packaging. The message is very clear. You don't need too many of the text and designs, but you can see what product it is. Also for this one, this packaging can handle 2 different products in one package. Interlocking packages. It's easy to carry and save space. Here are other examples of interlocking packages. This is also clever packaging. When flat, it doesn't eat up too much space in the shelves. But when you open it, it becomes also your soup bowl. So it's very functional. Now this is something that we hope to see sometime soon. A square Coke bottle. But what do you think is the rationale for this? Aside from being able to stack the bottles easily with their interlocking functions, square bottles saves a lot of space compared to round bottles, the round cans. With this, there's a tremendous savings in logistics and warehouse costs just by changing the configuration of the product. Last 2015, Coca-Cola announced that they will unveil a new eco bottle made from plants. After several years, now they have this 30% plant-based recyclable bottle. But now, 2020, we now have a 100% bottle made from plants. This is not anymore petroleum-based plastic. As packaging has evolved through the years, we are expecting so many new technologies that will help us protect our products. So if you're starting to build your packaging together with your branding and looking at different packaging options, it's important that you take into consideration the different stages we've talked about to make sure it does everything you want and more. Again, this is Dr. Joseph Roxon of the Asian Packaging Federation and the Packaging Institute of the Philippines. I hope I was able to share with you some of my insights and knowledge with regards to packaging. A good afternoon to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hoxon, for that very informative talk. At this juncture, we will be awarding our second recipient of the 15,000 pesos worth of label and packaging assistance and a one-on-one session with Mr. Lester Lim Cruz of Sirius Studio. Congratulations to Mr. Domingo Ordaz, DWS Food Products, Libmanan, Camarines Sur. The Secretariat of the Camarines Sur Chamber of Commerce and Industry Incorporated will coordinate with you on the details. PACPINAS is one of the major activities of our 2020 CamSur Business Expo, brought to us by the most outstanding chamber in Southern Luzon for 2 consecutive years, the CamSur Chamber of Commerce and Industry Incorporated. Our fifth speaker is currently the production manager of their family's business, Tres Niñas General Merchant and Printing in Tacloban City, Leyte. She also works as a packaging and labeling consultant for the MSMEs in the Leyte and Samar region in support of DTI. She is passionate in developing extrinsic value in products and finds a deep joy in seeing clients' products grow, evolve, and be competitive with international standards. As an advocate of the Filipino First policy, she believes that Philippine products should not be left behind. Ladies and gentlemen, let us hear from Ms. Charmaine Caminade to talk about innovations in packaging.
Hi everyone, I am Charmaine Caminade from Tacloban City, and today I am going to be talking about innovations in packaging. Innovation is the creation, development, and implementation of a new product, process, or service with the aim of improving efficiency, effectiveness, or competitive advantage. Throughout the years, there have been significant updates, growths, and breakthroughs in the packaging world to make package designs more desirable for customers and more environmentally friendly. In the food packaging, Packaging is as essential as the product itself for its purpose of prolonging its shelf life, facilitating long-distance transportation, and promoting the product. It gives security to your product and simplifies the work of sales promotions as packaging is used as one of the means of marketing. Packaging is literally the product identity. Being updated and aware in the current trends of packaging can help you keep up your A game with your packaging selections. Based on the latest advanced technology, manufacturers, retailers, packaging product suppliers are working more closely than ever before to produce packaging products designed for modern lifestyles. The push for eco-friendly solutions has driven big brands to ditch single-use plastics. And in today's shopping trends, customers, particularly millennials, are looking for not only the product, but also the personal connection that products and brands have to offer. There is a list of innovative packaging solutions designed in different means and applications, and I'll be sharing to you 9 innovations in packaging. Number 1. Eco-friendly packaging. Brands and manufacturers are aiming to reduce the single use of plastic. Most wastes you see in landfills are from packaging. Due to poor waste management systems around the world, the majority of plastic packaging that is sent to landfills ends up in our natural environment. 8 million tons of plastic is dumped in the ocean every year. The concern about plastic waste is growing globally, and the most common items that wind up as trash and pollute the oceans are linked to food, such as wrappers, straws, cutlery, bottles, and many more. A lot of brands and manufacturers are aiming to cut down packaging waste. The plastic bags we use daily take 10 years to 1,000 years to decompose, while plastic bottles can take 450 years or more. Nuatan achieved a new and innovative natural plastic that was specifically created to reduce waste in large bodies of water. It degrades in industrial compost into water, carbon dioxide, and biomass within 120 days. Nuatan, a brand for value-added products made from a new generation of bioplastic material which is both bio-based, made of 100% renewable raw resources, biodegradable, and leaving no microplastics behind, nor contributing to global warming. The material was developed for companies, brands, and designers with a vision to create value-added products with a positive impact on the environment. As a company with a strong sense of responsibility, Nuatan aims to accelerate the transition to a circular economy by optimizing the life cycle of Nuatan-made products from the point of manufacturing to decomposing. Using the patented nonylon technology, Nuatan is made of 2 biopolymers, polylactic acid and polyhydroxybutyrate, which are produced out of natural resources such as cornstarch, potato starch, or used cooking oil, making it safe by chance of being eaten by aquatic creatures. Nuatan can be processed by standard plastic industry technologies like injection molding, 3D printing, laser cutting, heat pressing, and many more. With its unique attributes, the material is optimized for the production of reusable and durable products with a strong focus on design, such as houseware, interior objects, furniture, toys, fashion accessories, among many others. Number 2. Plant-based packaging. Styrofoam is one of the most commonly used packaging materials. However, this substance is anything but compatible with the environment because it is not biodegradable. Around 1.5 liters of petrol are required to produce a single cube of polystyrene. One of the latest sustainable creations is a material called mycocomposite, a mushroom-based packaging material developed by Ecovative Design in 2010 by Mycelium Technology. Unlike styrofoam, mushroom packaging consists of 100% biodegradable and renewable material that can be recycled directly in and by nature. Mushroom packaging therefore contributes to upcycling by providing new value to agricultural waste. Ecovative Design has developed a packaging material that binds agricultural products with mycelium, the molecular building blocks of mushrooms. The bio-waste is first crushed and mixed with special fungal culture, the mycelium, and you just give it a few days to grow. The growth is made possible by the bio-waste, which serves the fungi as food. The mixture is comminuted again and placed in its final form. It takes about 5 days for the mixture to grow into the mold. Then the compact mass is subjected to a heat thrust to stop the growth and make the material sterile. Not only does it fit into the planet's natural recycling system, but it is also cost-effective to produce and almost as durable as plastic. Mycocomposite has also proved to be as insulating and flame-resistant as polystyrene. However, nobody even knew about this brilliant material until furniture giant IKEA made the mushroom-based packaging mainstream by announcing that it will replace styrofoam packaging with mycocomposite for all of its products. Cassava bags are another example of plant-based packaging in the market. To combat the impact of discarded plastic bags on the environment, an Indonesian company called Avani has created a single-use bag you'd swear was plastic, but which is in fact made of cassava, an edible root. These bio-cassava bags contain zero actual plastic and are made from cassava starch using a proprietary process. Being 100% bio-based, the bags will break down in a matter of months. But should they find their way into a waterway before then, they're completely safe for animals. The current barrier to mass uptake is that the production process makes bio-cassava bags cost twice as much as regular plastic bags. EcoNest has already introduced cassava bags in the Philippines. EcoNest Philippines is an online shop that carries eco-friendly alternatives like the cassava bio bags, edible straws, sugarcane boxes, and other plantable items. Number 3. Edible packaging. Ojo is an edible membrane made from nopla, a revolutionary material that is 100% seaweed and plants, which can encapsulate water, soft drinks, spirits, and even cosmetics. The edible packaging comes from spherification, the culinary technique behind the balls in bubble tea and fake caviar. The ingredients used in an Ojo membrane is biodegradable, which means it doesn't contribute to pollution and is highly sustainable. Nopla is made from one of our nature's most renewable resource, brown seaweed. Growing up to 1 meter per day, it doesn't compete with food crops, doesn't need fresh water or fertilizer, and actively contributes to deacidifying our oceans. While people may not necessarily want to carry Ojo around with them daily, it does have a broad appeal for specific applications. Ojo being particularly useful at concerts, festivals, races, sporting events, and other events where people use many plastic bottles of water. Imagine the packaging waste left from these events just scattered on the ground waiting to be thrown away. Some get recycled, but most end up in landfills.
Hi, we are Skipping Rocks Lab and our goal is to make packaging disappear.
Our first product, Ojo, is a membrane that can encapsulate water or any kind of liquids. It's made of seaweed and it's so natural that it's biodegradable and even edible. Cheers!
Since we started the company in 2014, we've been developing the technology and improving the properties of the material here in Imperial College London. With our industrial partners, we have developed an innovative manufacturing process that can produce Ojos cheaper than plastic bottles.
Number 4. Frustration-free packaging. Amazon started as a frustration-free program with the aim of not only being easy to open, but to use way less packing materials, including zero wire ties, plastic bindings, or plastic clamshell casings. Hence, frustration-free packaging is not only better for customers and sellers, but it is healthier for the planet. Frustration-free packaging is packaging that is made of 100% recyclable materials, easy to open, and designed to ship products in their original packaging, which eliminates the need for an additional shipping box. FFP was designed with the customer in mind, making it easier to liberate products from their packages while also reducing waste. Amazon started small with just 19 of the worst offenders, products known as clamshells, and secured with plastic-coated wire ties, which are commonly used in toy packaging. To certify products as part of the frustration-free program, Amazon works with manufacturers worldwide, helping them innovate and improve their packaging functionality, reducing waste throughout the supply chain. By thoroughly testing the products in their packaging lab and fulfillment centers across the globe, Amazon identifies specific steps that manufacturers can take to improve their packaging and ensure customers' products are well protected all the way to their final destination. Here's a short video depicting the program in a nutshell. Since 2015, Amazon's sustainable packaging innovations have eliminated more than 900,000 tons of packaging material and avoided 1.6 billion shipping boxes. Number 5. Increased portability. Most consumers have an on-the-go lifestyle. This means they are constantly looking for food options that are easier to grab, hold, eat, or carry. This also means the demand for food options that are convenient and portable continues to increase. To meet this need, brands are putting in extra effort into making food packaging portable. McDonald's, for example, launched the McBite package especially for cyclists. This pack allows you to carry a burger, fries, and a drink in a foldable case that can be hooked to the handlebar. The McBite idea was implemented in Copenhagen, Denmark, and then in Medellin, Colombia. Number 6. Smart packaging. Smart packaging is one of the technology-enabled solutions that refers to packaging systems with embedded sensor technology used with foods, pharmaceuticals, and many other types of products. It is used to extend shelf life, monitor freshness, display information and quality, and improve product and customer safety. Here's a short video showcasing smart packaging. Number 7, emotional engagement. In a world full of and increasingly defined by brands, there is often very little through which you can differentiate between them. Two or more different brands may offer the same product at similar prices, with equal quality, and the only differences between the two would be negligible. How then does a customer decide which of the two products to purchase? Therein lies the essential need to be able to set your brand apart from the rest, to distinguish yourself enough to attract customers to your products and services and not to your competitors. There are things you need to buy and you want to buy. Even if we consider only that which is necessary, the conundrum doesn't become any simpler. All else being equal, your decision must by necessity be an emotional one. When a consumer walks down an endless aisles of products, they will almost always pick the item that makes them feel something, whether they do it subconsciously or not. So what will trigger these emotions? Past experience with the brand in most cases, since a level of trust would have been established. What though of the newly launched brands? The only way to trigger an emotional response from a customer is through the product's packaging. If you can entice a visceral emotional reaction from your target audience through your packaging, then your brand may well be on the road to success. Consumers want more than just a product. They want to be part of a story. Studies have revealed that people are impacted by emotions rather than information when making brand decisions. Emotional content is popular in advertising, social media, and consumers with positive sentiments leading the way. An emotional packaging offers a powerful experience of purchase and use. It is easy to recognize and captures the attention of the consumers. Designers that reach this aim have a major probability to please the customers and reinforce their relationship with the brand. That means images, texts, colors, and the general mood of the packaging have to reflect the characteristics of the product to capture customers' attention. Color plays a huge role in great packaging. Take Glossier's beauty products. Glossier features soft, subdued pastel hues throughout their branding and packaging. Pastels are delicate, feminine, and friendly. From a sales point of view, they work because they evoke a sense of uncomplicated ease, which taps into their predominantly female target audience and their need to uncomplicate an already busy life. Create a strong and positive personal connection to your brand on shelf. Good, distinctive packaging design has the ability to trigger that emotional response and connect a consumer with your brand instantaneously. Number 8, personalization. Personalization is a powerful tool for promoting products and is one of the leading trends worldwide. Coca-Cola's Share a Coke campaign. It was first launched in Australia in 2013 and is still going on. The campaign has engaged directly with consumers in more than 100 countries. For the campaign, Coca-Cola replaced its logo on all bottles with 150 of the most popular first names, nicknames, and terms of affection in each country, experiencing massive boosts in sales. Coca-Cola partnered with Hewlett-Packard, also known as HP, to create 800 million personalized labels using conventional printing technology with HP Indigo digital printing. Thanks to the campaign, the slogan "Share a Coke" had a strong call to action and convinced people to buy and share a Coke. Coca-Cola sales grew more than 19% in the first year of the campaign. Nutella Unica was a packaging project that Nutella did in Italy late 2016. After first spending 4 years making personalized labels for Nutella lovers, they decided to take things to the next level. They believed Nutella could be as special and expressive as every single one of its customers. With this objective, Nutella Unica was born, the first limited edition made by 7 million different jars, dozens of patterns, thousands of color combinations, one special algorithm. Like a piece of art, the 7 million Nutella Unica jars were distributed all over the country in the usual point of sales, reaching its intended target of families and individuals. The jars were sold out in 1 month. Continuing personalization efforts like these are likely to inspire other brands that are looking to differentiate their products in the marketplace. As long as personalized packaging works by appealing to consumers and boosting sales, manufacturers are going to come up with new and increasingly inventive ways to use it. Number 9. Reusable packaging. Bringing together a partnership of consumer goods companies, along with international recycling leader TerraCycle, Loop is a global first-of-its-kind, waste-free shopping system. It is a new innovative business model for premium durable packaging which is delivered directly to the consumer, returned, and refilled. Essentially a whole new way to shop. Loop is like the milkman of the 1950s, but with a 21st century reboot. Back then, in some countries, milk was delivered to your doorstep in glass bottles. When these were empty, they were left outside, collected by the milkman, washed, and refilled. The system brings together major brands like Procter & Gamble, Nestle, Pepsi-Cola, Unilever, Mars, Clorox, Coca-Cola, and retailers with the idea of shifting from a model that is disposable, where packaging is thrown away or recycled after one use, to one that is durable, where packaging is reused and any leftover product is either recycled or reused. The materials differ for each product, but most use glass or aluminum, and all are fully recyclable. Each returned glass bottle will be cleaned, reconditioned, and refilled to maximize customer reuse. For brands, Loop was a radical step to test fundamental changes to how they package and deliver products, driven by consumer pressure to deal with the problem of plastic pollution. The updates aren't stopping now. There are plenty of new packaging design ideas that have either just hit the market or are planning a market release in the future. Today, there are so many opportunities available for you to upgrade your packaging because of how Philippine industry was able to adapt and keep up in terms of printing materials and technology. Although the personalized food packaging trend is yet to be affordable to smaller food businesses, there are options to customize packaging. While you cannot get personalization with offset printing, you can create offset prints and then run them through the digital press to add personalized elements. Or for starting entrepreneurs in the food industries, you can opt for generic or ready-made packaging that best suits your product and have your labels digitally printed. Variable data printing allows businesses to customize and personalize their labels through digital printing, and it does not slow down the printing process. You don't need to be a massive company to leverage the benefits of variable data printing. All it takes are a few ideas and a digital printing company with the technology to make it happen. Whether you want to create a label for a specific individual, special occasions, holidays, or add some variety to your products, like a new flavor, scent, or color, Variable data technology allows you to customize aspects of your label in a way that changes how your users interact with your products. There are a wide variety of materials available, from substrates, papers, stickers, up until the finishing process, and it all boils down to your creativity on how you want your packaging to come out.
But remember, you can't and should not limit your packaging to be okay na to, maganda na to tingnan, because there are so many aspects to consider beyond that.
You have to look at ease, effectivity, functionality, and more. Look at all the aspects so your effort and investment will be worth it. How? Do your research. Identify and study your target market. Know your product. What's your unique selling point? Why are you different from your competitors? How will someone's life be better for choosing your product over another brand? Your product packaging is one of the best places to put the answers to these questions. Product packaging is a marketing channel, and it's a potent place to remind your customer why they bought from you. Find ways to differentiate yourself so you can discover your best fit in the market. Use creativity without compromising quality. Remember, your product's packaging is meant to communicate a purpose, what your brand stands for, and what it means to your customer. Packaging design is also where form and function meet. Your packaging keeps your product safe during transportation, but it's also the stage where your product makes its debut in your customer's life. Packaging will always be your silent salesman. Don't miss this opportunity to create a lasting impression on the shelf and in the minds of your customers. Value your packaging the same way you want your consumers to value your product in the market.
So this is where I end my presentation. Thank you for listening, and I hope you were able to learn something from this talk. God bless, stay safe, and stay at home.
Thank you very much, Ms. Charmaine, for your discussion on the innovations in packaging. Our third recipient of the 15,000 pesos worth of label and packaging assistance and a one-on-one session with Mr. Lester Lim Cruz of Sirius Studio is Mr. Williams Estil, Gapas Delight Food Products from Bulusan, Sorsogon. The Secretariat of the CSCCI will coordinate with you on the details. Our sixth speaker is an entrepreneur who dreams for herself and the people around her, engaging the community in her advocacies in developing quality products, supporting locally sourced materials, and turning them into healthy food products. She's the chef and owner of Benita and Flora's Food Products and Benita and Flora's Bistro Cafe. Ladies and gentlemen, let us listen to Ms. Mercy Siguenza to share her inspiring narrative.
Hi, I'm Mercy Siguenza, owner ng Benita and Flora's Bistro Cafe and Benita and Flora's Food Products. Way back May 2016, nabuo ang Benita and Flora's Bistro Cafe and Food Products. Around September that year, mga customers namin nag-suggest na why not gumawa ng something na pwedeng ipasalubong sa family nila. Naisip ko, ano kaya yung mga pwedeng ipasalubong na wala pa sa market, na something new at something unique. Mahilig ako sa cookies, kaya kumbaga, doon ako nag-start. Pero bago ko naisip yung cookies, meron akong ibang mga na-try, like pickled veggies, jams, and the like. Hanggang ngayon, failed pa rin, pero continuous pa rin ako nagde-develop. Doon na nag-start yung pag-formulate ko ng mga recipes ng cookies. That time, gumagamit pa ako ng mga artificial flavoring sa cookies. Ang problema, masyado silang matamis kasi hindi mo din naman naalam kung ano yung mga nandun. One time, na-invite ako ng DTI mag-attend ng seminar about thermal processing. Marami akong nakilala, mga pareho akong MSMEs din na searching kung paano pa mapapahaba ang buhay ng mga ginagawa naming products. After nun, na-invite ako, 2018, na-invite ako ng Aspire, para sa Aspire, maging isang exhibitor. First time namin ilabas yung cookies sa regional. Sobrang nervyos kasi hindi ko alam kung tatangkilikin siya ng mga tao. Habang bukas yung trade fair, nag-iikot-ikot ako sa mga ibang exhibitors. Tapos nagtitingin-tingin ako ng mga products din nila. Naisip ko, why not kaya i-incorporate ko yung natural flavor sa cookies na ginagawa ko ngayon. Like, hindi na ako gagamit ng mga artificial flavorings. Puro na siya mga fresh, like fresh leaves malunggay, fresh grated turmeric, lahat fresh. Pero that time, yung packaging namin, yung ginagamit pa lang namin yung plastic na may logo lang namin sa gitna. Tapos may pangalan. Doon kami nag-start, hindi pa ganun kahaba din yung shelf life kasi parang after a month, hindi din siya masyadong crispy kasi medyo sumisingaw pa. So, needs pa ng improvement. Nag-attend ako ng maraming seminars and trainings conducted by DTI, DA, and DOST para mas ma-prolong pa namin yung products namin, mas mapaganda yung packaging, at mas ma-attract pa yung tao. Around September 2018, na-invite kami ng DTI na maging exhibitor sa Bishop ngayon sa trade fair. First time kong nilabas yung cookies na new packaging na. Yun na yung naka-pouch na siya, tapos may mga iba-ibang kulay, may iba't ibang shapes, and new flavors. March 2019, medyo sinuwerte ang food products kasi isa ako sa na-invite na sa KMME program. Isa ako sa 20 MSMEs nakasali dun sa program. Ang KMME ay isang mentorship program na tinuturuan i-scale up pa ang business through coaching para mas ayusin ang products at mindset ng isang entrepreneur. So, tuturuan ka doon kung paano ang proper costing, proper labeling, products, sa packaging, tsaka pagplan ng business mo. Around 2019, July, nailabas din na namin yung banana chips na new label and new packaging. At meron na rin siyang 5 flavors. Dati, isang flavor lang, yung unsweetened. Marami ding nagulat kasi hindi daw siya yung typical lalagyan na naka-pouch. Kasi ngayon, ang lalagyan na namin ay naka-jar compare doon sa dati na naka-plastic. Tapos maraming nagulat din kasi mas nare-retain daw yung crispiness sa loob kaysa yung naka-pouch na plastic. Nakapag-participate na sa National Trade Fair and National Food Fair 2019. Super saya kasi mas marami na ang nagandahan dun sa product namin. Na-achieve na namin yung ganong packaging, ganong flavor. hindi pa rin naman doon nagtatapos. So, kailangan ko pa din mag-research, mag-innovate kung ano pa ang next level nun. So, hindi pwede yung na-stuck ka lang sa kung anong yun. So, kahit na-reach mo na yung goal mo sa packaging mo, kailangan mo pang mag-level up. Kailangan mo pang mag-research. Magdagdag pa rin ng panibagong flavor. Kasi madaling magsawa ang tao eh. Like, ngayong buwan, ganito ang favorite nila. Next month, iba na naman. So, dapat kahit papano, medyo sinusundan mo rin kung ano yung gusto ng tao. Na dapat affordable din. Para sa mga tao na gustong mag-business, may kaya man o wala, maging maliit man yan o malaki, huwag kang matakot na magkamali. Go lang ng go, try lang ng try. Okay lang na ma-fail ka. Basta continuous lang ang pag-try, continuous ang pag-innovate. Kasi malay mo one day yung ginawa mo, yung in-experiment mo, magki-click na pala sa panlasa mo. Lumabas ka din sa comfort zone mo. Huwag kang mag-stick sa, ay, okay na yan. Okay na yan, pwede na yan. Huwag ganun na laging okay. Dapat perfect. Perfect para sa'yo. Perfect sa mga taong pinatry mo. Guys, imagine from plastic I transitioned to pouch. For me, it's a big thing. Plastic na mura nga, pero not helping sa environment. Less plastic as we promote or eliminate if possible nga, di ba? I imagined it before na plastic okay lang kasi nga affordable. Cheap costing, light packaging for transpo, tapos more earnings sa akin. Kaso ang problema, madali siyang madurog. Makarating man sa customers, di na nila na-enjoy. Isa pa, hindi siya ganun ka-eye-catching. Hindi ako satisfied kaya I thirst for more. Ayun, naging open ako sa suggestions, nagtanong-tanong ako sa family, friends, and customers, even sa employees ko, o minsan sa mga random customers sa cafe para mas ma-improve pa din yung mga products namin. Malaking tulong na din ang government agencies kasi na-encourage nila ako to open my business more publicly, more affordable, still at low cost, eye-catching packaging, ika nga, head turner, and turned out to be a reusable one for some. Kaya nga ngayon, I'm thinking na din na pwede siguro bigger packaging para dun sa mga customers na enjoying reusing our package. Kasi mas malaki yung lalagyan, mas cheaper. Kaya nga ngayon, I'm thinking na din na pwede siguro bigger packaging para dun sa mga customers na enjoying reusing our package. Kung mas malaki yung lalagyan, mas cheaper ang cost, at mas madami silang nalalagay, di ba? See? Very resourceful talaga ang mga Pinoy. Yan tayo eh, born to be. Good thing about sa new packaging namin is pwede na siyang ipadala abroad. Less worry na ako na madudurog siya. Kaya guys, sabi nga, to a great success comes with great determination. We can all start from way below and there's no way to go but up. It's all up to us to maintain everything we have. Hi, I'm Mercy Siguenza, owner ng Benita and Flora's Bistro Cafe and Benita and Flora's Food Products.
Thank you very much, Miss Mercy Siguenza, for sharing with us your story of success. Before we proceed to our next segment, we would like to invite all our participants to visit CamSurChamber.com and access our virtual showroom promoting homegrown Bicolano brands. Our virtual showroom features the following brands: Bicol Bottle Packaging Depot, Prime Digital Print Center, and MR Metal. Now, our fourth recipient of the 15,000 pesos worth of prizes of label and packaging assistance and a one-on-one session with Mr. Lester Lim Cruz from Sirius Studio is Miss Esperanza Carullo, Ilawood Food Products, Provincial Subdivision Nursery, Masbate City. The Secretariat of the CSCCI will be coordinating with you on the details. Congratulations. We have now come to the question and answer segment of our program. And the first speaker to answer our questions will be Mr. Stefano Paulo Bunag. The first question is from Ms. Joy Diaz, and the question is, how has the packaging industry been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic? Again, the question is from Ms. Joy Diaz. How has the packaging industry been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic?
Hi, yes, good afternoon. You can hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you clearly.
All right, okay. Just want to be sure. Okay, based on our discussions with our members, a lot of the issues that have come up, at least locally, has been on the production side. In terms of packaging materials, delivery of materials, also production of products, at least for the first 5 months, 3 to 5 months of the pandemic or the lockdown, a lot of the plants were closed or shut down, or at least minimal crew, which affected the delivery of services. That is on the manufacturing side. For the packaging to consumer side, number one, the type of packaging has also been affected. There's also a shift in the types of packaging and delivery systems used. So the more of the by bulk has been lessened to more of a consumer driven size, no? or usability. No? So with the advent of this lockdown, a lot of the delivery systems have changed also. A lot of the packaging were also affected because they had to adapt to how things were packed in the logistics centers of these companies. No? So a lot of movement in terms of the types of packaging, questions about, unfortunately, about use of paper or paper products when it comes to online delivery, because they'll still have to add plastic to protect it. Again, these are all hopefully temporary at this particular point in time. But the types of packaging have been affected because of the pandemic, the virus itself, and the delivery processes and systems that we have in place now.
Thank you very much, sir. We have another question for you, and it's from Edward James Lim. His question is, how can I make the packaging of my product at par with imported goods that are available in the Philippine market?
Okay, thank you for this question. Unfortunately, in the video I submitted, a portion there, also on my end, I wasn't able to add this particular a particular certain number of slides, no. And in those slides, it talks about the functions, the primary functions of packaging, and the secondary functions of packaging. A lot of us may already know it. One is to contain, to preserve, to protect, and to sell. The sell portion here can also be to promote as a marketing tool. No? The secondary function of packaging would be to inform. It provides convenience for your customers. It also communicates your brand, who you are, and what you want to be known as. A lot of these things have been also discussed in other terms in one way or another by Mr. Cruz and I'm sorry, I forgot Ms. Charmaine, I think, no. But the basic question we should look at in terms of competition versus imported products in the marketplace or in groceries is what do you want to convey in terms of your product quality? Who is your market? Who are your markets? Are we trying to sell to a higher market where these imported brands more or less play, or are you looking at serving the lower markets or the mass markets? So I think one thing we should look at, again, I mentioned it in the slides that I wasn't able to upload, I'm sorry, but part of what we look at is the whole process, no? Your whole product design process. When you create a product, you should already know who you're going to be selling to. Now, once you have that, like Mr. Cruz said, he had the hierarchy of needs. You have to go through all of those before you actually come up with a product and want to sell the product, because it already will put you in the right direction. As mentioned also, fonts, colors, types of packaging, photography or illustrations, those are all part of the further end of your process. No? So a lot of it has to do with where you want your product to go. And I think that's one thing that will already put you in that level. No? So if you want to say, I want to compete with the imported goods coming in, do your research. Ano yung mga produkto doon na gusto niyong bagayan? Ano yung produkto niyo na meron doon sa imported mga pasok? Ano yung kinakalaban niyo? Look at what you are up against. Then approach that, create your product to be equal to or even greater than that, and provide your customers with a product that they will go back to, but be grabbed and called to by the packaging. So again, ang very important dito is you have to research on ano yung materials na ginagamit nila, ano yung type of packaging or fonts that they use or graphics that they use. And you have to know your market and kung sino talaga yung market nyo. So I think that's one of the main things that we can do already to improve our packaging. I think like Ms. Mercy also said, you can't rely on where you are now. You have to keep moving and keep moving and keep moving. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stefano Paolo Bunag, for answering those questions for all of us. The next person to answer the questions will be our second speaker, Mr. Lester Lim Cruz. And the first question is from Cassandra Remedios. Her question is, what is the biggest challenge in designing a packaging for a product?
Hi. Okay. So I think that was lightly discussed in my talk, but to expound, it's I think the biggest challenge is scaling it, because you can make something, you can make one prototype, you can make one box, but you have to test how durable it will be, how can it manage all external stresses. So that could be in the safety area, will it break, will it get spoiled, but also on the packaging and on the packaging design end. So you have to make sure that whatever you're building or designing has to be really resilient, lalo na if you're going to be selling mass market or if you're going to be selling in different places. You have to make sure that you solve that challenge now. Will my product be intact wherever it will be? Like whatever island in the Philippines or outside the Philippines will be, like it should be resilient. So yeah, hope that answers your question.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lester Cruz. We have another question for you, and it's from Ryan Santos. His question is, what information should be emphasized in labeling and packaging my product?
Okay. The first thing you want to do, like the biggest emphasis should be, number one, like you should be designing the face of the product, like the front package of it, and you should be sure that people get to know what's inside, because you can't be confusing, lalo na when you're just on the shelf. Like I've had so many stories from people na they get canned goods and they didn't bother to read the packaging, so they ended up buying dog food for dinner because they didn't know na dog food pala yung nabili nila. So that's one thing, na you have to make sure na your product should say what it is and it shouldn't mislead people or make people feel like mali pala nabili nila. So that's number one. Number two is if there's any regulations or anything to build credibility for your product, that's a big plus. Because when people buy something, let's say they want to buy something healthy, they will really look for labels like sugar-free, gluten-free, or whatever free. Like they will always look for those things. And like I said earlier, it's not just telling them what your product is free of, like if it's like allergen free or what. It's also making sure that what you're saying is backed up by the right regulating industries. So there's BFAD or there's that. I mean, you have to make sure that you're like really legitimate in that end.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lester Lim Cruz, for answering those questions for all of us. Our next speaker to answer our next set of questions will be Miss Flor Deliza Loberiano. And the first question is from Sofia Brusas. Her question is, large companies afford quality packaging because of their accessibility to resources and economies of scale. In the provinces where most of the business are MSMEs, how do you see the quest for quality packaging and mandatory labeling gain momentum? Again, the question from Ms. Sofia Brusas is, large companies afford quality packaging because of their accessibility to resources and economies of scale. In the provinces where most of the business are MSMEs, how do you see the quest for quality packaging and mandatory labeling gain momentum?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Sorry, I was trying to show my picture pero hindi ko alam paano gawin. So ito.
It's all right.
Okay. So in the provinces, so we understand the needs of MSMEs, no. In fact, we had previous projects in assisting MSMEs, especially for food manufacturers, on how to appropriately pack and then eventually market, no, their products. So we continue the assistance, and we continue on giving let's say seminars, and also giving packaging services to MSMEs para naman makakompete sila, no, to different kahit sa mga malalaking mga companies. In fact, natutuwa kami kasi through yung sa DTI or in CITEM, no, yung IFEX. So way back 2000, I think 2002, simula pa nung meron pa nung ASEAN International Food Exhibit. Fini-feature namin per region, no? Pumipili kami ng mga different products from each region, tapos parang dinidress namin sila with the right packaging and then label, and then we feature. So parang sa ngayon naman, marami na rin kami mga natulungan ng mga MSMEs na nag-prosper naman sila, na-develop nila yung packaging nila, yung product nila, at ngayon, successfully nakaka-export na sila.
Thank you very much, ma'am. We have another question for you, and it's from Rodora Quintos. Her question is, how can I make the packaging of my product stand out considering the mandatory labeling requirements?
Okay. Aside from, syempre, mag-stand out siya if you have the very parang appealing or interesting na na label, na design. Pero makakakompete ka with other products sa market if you comply with the mandatory labeling requirements. In fact, meron kaming mga naging clients, no, or customers na ang gaganda ng kanilang mga designs, maganda yung packaging, but siguro left out yung mandatories, kasi minsan hindi nila nakikita na parang akala nila hindi ganun ka-important yung mandatory labeling. Nakikita namin na, let's say, na nadidetain yung product or nare-reject. Tapos tatanungin nila sa amin, bakit naging ganun? So, ang sinasabi namin, check natin lahat yung mandatories. So, yung simple lang na listing ng ingredients, yun, may nadidetain. Tsaka minsan, simple lang na, let's say, typo error, let's say, mali yung declaration mo ng net weight, ng declaration ng ingredients, or katulad ngayon, may mga updates na on the, sa labeling sa Philippines. So, pagka hindi yun nasunod, yun, medyo hindi makaka-compete yung natin, yung mga product. So, importante din talaga para mag-stand out yung yung product mo sa market. Importante, nagko-comply ka sa mandatories ng hindi lang ng Philippines, kahit yung importing country. Dapat susunod tayo doon. Kasi regulated yan eh.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for answering those questions for all of us. The next speaker to answer our next set of questions will be Dr. Joseph Rosokson. And the first question is from Mr. Lorenzo D. And the question is, what are the standards to consider in the packaging of a food product?
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. The standards that you might need to consider, firstly, you have to use materials that is most likely not to cause food contamination, because safety is the most important. Secondly, know the composition of your food and check if the packaging is suitable for it, because they might not match. Thirdly, consider the storage and handling of your product, as the packaging would be highly dependent on it. Those are the things that you have to consider in your food packaging.
Thank you very much, sir. Now we have another question, and it's from Miss Elizabeth Maniquez. The question is, how can I support environmental protection through the packaging of my product?
Okay, that's very good. When creating your product, you have to do a cradle-to-grave study, from the inception of the product until it is being disposed. Meaning, you have to consider the afterlife of the product and packaging. Use packaging materials that are highly recyclable and sourced from responsible suppliers. Also, use only enough material as necessary for your product. Do not over-excess your packaging. Keep in mind that we have to have a sustainable environment. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Joseph. And the next person to answer our questions will be Miss Charmaine Caminade. And the first question is from Mr. Gregorio Encinas. What are the latest developments in packaging in the Philippines that can help MSMEs in making smart decisions and pull ahead of competitors?
Hello, thank you for that nice question. So, mas kayang i-cater ngayon ng printing industry yung mga SMEs na with the smaller requirements sa labels or customized boxes. So let's say if you're just a starting MSME ka pa lang, you're going to opt for generic packaging. Let's say we have our stand-up pouches, right? We have craft, we have foils, we have plastic jars and glass bottles. So one thing that would be cost-effective and convenient for them would be labels na they can opt for generic labels as well. So for example, may mga turmeric powder tayo na iba't ibang grams. So they can just check it. That's one of the ways that ganun yung pagsa-start nila kasi budgeted pa nga. Pero in terms of printing, kayang-kaya ng mga printing press ngayon dito sa Pilipinas yung minimum quantity with the labels. Direct printing, pwede na din sa mga stand-up pouches. Let's say, at least 5,000 pieces minimum. Kayang-kaya niyang i-direct print yung label mo sa pouches. At pwedeng different designs rin. Hindi na siya yung like offset na kailangan one design sa lahat ng boxes. Ito, different design, as long as one size only, it can print directly to your pouch with only 5,000 minimum requirements. What else? With variable data printing, you should take advantage with it. Like for example, fiesta sa kanila, yung labels nila, they can customize it kung ano yung events, one town, one product to promote your town, and just take advantage of personalization with your labels and designs. Yeah.
Thank you very much, ma'am. We have another question for you, and it's from Samantha Anciano. Her question is, how will I compete with the cheap imported products in our country? And how can I make my product have a global appeal?
That's a nice question. So how will I compete with the cheap products? It's just really marketing. You know, as simple as balot or kahit hindi masarap yung pagkain mo. If you're able to market it and advertise it in a very authentic or nice way, people will buy and believe your product. But first, you should really believe in your product. Na it's how you present it. Like what every other panelist said na do your research. Bago ka mag-invest into something expensive na packaging, make sure you already have a market for it. Make sure there's already loyalty with your target market para sure tayo na papatok yung packaging natin. And how can I make my product a global appeal? Before reaching the global appeal, let's start first with our own town. If you think, you test the waters, you attend local trade fairs, national trade fairs. But since ngayon, pandemic, let's take advantage of the internet. We are globally connected because of the internet. So be active and be visible in social medias, in Facebook, Instagrams, make accounts na, make Instagram account na may dating. Hindi lang dahil na, pipicture ka lang. Kasama na dun yung maganda yung lighting, yung presentation, yung packaging, yung caption mo. Yan, you take advantage of that as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Charmaine, for answering those questions. The next speaker to answer our last set of questions will be Ms. Mercy Siguenza. Her first question is, what is the biggest challenge that you faced in packaging your products and how did you overcome it?
Hello po. Ang biggest challenge finding the perfect packaging. Trial and error talaga siya. Madaming options out there pero kailangan maghanap ng most suitable material that will not just protect the product and as well as representation ng brand.
Thank you, ma'am. The last question is from Mr. Ramon Pimentel. And the question is, how do you market your product in the midst of COVID-19 pandemic?
Maximizing online platforms. Tulad ng Shopee, Lazada, Facebook page, or even personal account. Pwede mo siyang i-share, tapos pwede ka rin magpatulong sa family and friends na mag-share nung account or sa Facebook page. Social media is a trend now. So, yun na yung karamihan na ginagamit ng iba. Saka it's free. Yeah, better yung sa social media.
Thank you very much, Ms. Mercy Siguenza, for answering those questions for all of us. That concludes our question and answer segment. We would like to thank all our entrepreneurs who sent their questions and, of course, to all our speakers for their invaluable inputs. At this juncture, we will be awarding the Certificate of Appreciation for our speakers. The Camarines Sur Chamber of Commerce and Industry Incorporated, Department of Trade and Industry, the Provincial Government of Camarines Sur, the Department of Science and Technology, and the Philippine Center for Print Excellence Foundation, Virtual Pack Pinas present this Certificate of Appreciation in grateful recognition for his invaluable insights, expertise, and experiences as speaker to the Virtual Pack Pinas hosted by the Camarines Sur Chamber of Commerce and Industry Incorporated on October 9, 2020, given this 9th day of October 2020 at La Piazza Hall, Avenue Plaza, Hotel, Naga City. Signed by Chairman of Virtual Pack Pinas, Mr. Raymond L. Concepcion, and the President of the CSCCI, Engineer Alexander B. Gaite. The certificate is awarded to Mr. Stefano Paulo Bunag, President, Packaging Institute of the Philippines. Same citation of certificate is awarded to Mr. Lester Lim Cruz, Managing Partner, Sirius Studio. Same citation of certificate is given to Ms. Florida Loberiano, Supervising Senior Science Research Specialist, DOST. Same citation of certificate is given to Dr. Joseph Ross Hoxon, Immediate Past President, Packaging Institute of the Philippines. Same citation of certificate is given to Ms. Charmaine Caminade, Production Manager, Packaging and Labeling Consultant, Tres Niñas. Same certificate is given to Ms. Mercy Mea Unica N. Siguenza, Chef and Owner, Benita and Flora's Bistro Cafe, Benita and Flora's Food Products. We'll also be awarding our Certificate of Appreciation to our dear sponsors. Virtual Pack Pinas presents the Certificate of Appreciation to Edna S. Tejada, Provincial Director, Camarines Sur Department of Trade and Industry, for extending her priceless time and unwavering support as one of our event sponsors, contributing to the success of the Virtual Pack Pinas, hosted by the Camarines Sur Chamber of Commerce and Industry Incorporated, given this 9th day of October 2020 at the La Piazza Hall, Avenue Plaza Hotel, Naga City. Signed by the Chairman of Virtual Pack Pinas, Mr. Raymond L. Concepcion, and the President of CSCCI, Engineer Alexander B. Gaite. Same citation of certificate is given to Mr. J. Ablan, Business Development Division Chief, Camarines Sur, Department of Trade and Industry. Same certificate is given to Mr. Rodrigo M. Aguilar, OIC, Regional Director, Department of Trade and Industry, Region 5. And of course, the same certificate of appreciation with the same citation is given to Patrocinio Felizmenio, Provincial S&T Director, Camarines Sur, Department of Science and Technology. Thank you very much to all our speakers and of course to our sponsors. Same certificate of appreciation is given to Mr. Romel R. Serrano, Regional Director, Department of Science and Technology, Region 5. Our fifth recipient of the 15,000 worth of label and packaging assistance is Ms. Arlinda Lor Buwasan of RB8, Food Products, Tabaco City, Albay, and Evelyn Bonifacio, Belens, Pinahamis na Pili at iba pa, Santo Niño, Verac, Catanduanes. The Secretariat of the CSCCI will coordinate with you on the details. Congratulations! Virtual Pack Pinas is made possible with the support of the following organizations and government institutions. The Camarines Sur Chamber of Commerce and Industry Incorporated, the most outstanding chamber award in Southern Luzon for 2 consecutive years. Department of Trade and Industry. The Provincial Government of Camarines Sur. The Department of Science and Technology, Philippine Center for Print Excellence Foundation, Camarines Sur Business Expo, the Philippine Information Agency, Camarines Sur, 105.5 Bicol FM, Naga, and of course, One Media TV, 48 Naga. Thank you, everyone. It has been a very productive afternoon with the lineup of competent speakers that we had. I am sure that we gained invaluable inputs which we can use in sustaining and continuously innovating our product. Virtual Pack Pinas empowering micro, small, and medium enterprises, engaging the next generation of businessmen in the Philippines. The resiliency of Filipino entrepreneurs will triumph in the midst of this COVID-19 pandemic. Until our next webinar series. See you on October 22, 23, 24 for our e-Agri Summit 2020. This has been Cristel A. Sales. Thank you very much to the Camarines Sur Chamber of Commerce Industry Incorporated. Diyos mabalos po, mabuhay ang negosyanteng Pinoy.